Right out the box, you get a good jump when you're running along the base path. The catcher flips over his face mask, eager to place tags. Flash the leather, making a great stab. You can follow the footsteps or take it upon yourself to make a path. But what's it all for? Love of the game or acknowledgement? Every play you make, the scouts gaze in astonishment. All this could lead to a Division I scholarship. It all starts here. The premier place for the uncommitted to showcase their skill set. Pull hitter or an opposite field threat, no matter how difficult the drills get, it's still real heart, real scars, real sweat. The piercing sound of the ping on the metal bat. Down in the count, but you battle back. You either wait for your pitch or swing for the fences. In this game, the possibilities are endless. You stuck to the routine. To prove your talent is indeed supreme. This is the start of fulfilling a lifelong dream. The boots are on the ground, and it's time to be seen. This is the Prep Baseball Report. Future Games.
Welcome back to the 2023 PBR Future Games from here at Lakepoint Sports in Emerson, Georgia. Corey McCartney now joined by PBR Ohio's Jordan Cairo. Jordan, man, appreciate you coming on here to talk a little bit about this Ohio roster.
No, man, I'm excited, especially from Ohio guy yourself.
That's right. Yeah, my roots. So obviously you guys have been here for a couple days now. Tell me, first impressions of how the kids have handled the atmosphere before we get into what this lineup for you guys looks like.
I mean, I couldn't be proud of our guys right now. I mean, we're 2-0, and it's not about winning or losing, but you never know how a 15-year-old's going to, or a 16-year-old's going to react when they're put in front of 100 college coaches. And our guys have overperformed. If anything, they've been afraid of the moment. I couldn't be happy with how our guys are doing it right now.
So in football, you've got the State Line Classic between Ohio and Pennsylvania. Not quite that here as you guys are going to take on Pennsylvania in the game of baseball. But let's talk a little bit about some of the guys that you're going to be rolling out here today. Pitching-wise, you've got Landon Dahl, Braylon Snyder, Brody Papai, and Grant Keffenbar are going to get the nods here for you guys on the mound, but I know there were some players in particular that you wanted to focus in on. So let's start out with what you said was a really strong catching group, starting with a guy who was once committed to West Virginia, and that's in Taylor Belza.
I mean, Taylor Belza, he's 5 for 5. He hasn't gotten out. I mean, he's a top 5 player in our class rated right now, and he's done nothing but enhance his stock. I mean, his feel to hit and just him as a person, he's a great kid too, but he's going to have offers from every Power 5 conference in the country after this. Like, I would expect him to end up being an SEC commit at the end of the day. I think that's where he wants to go, and I think that's absolutely what's going to happen, but he hasn't gotten out yet. And then 3 of his 5 hits are 2 strikes, like 1-2, 0-2 counts, and he's just battled, man. I mean, great player, and he's showing off everything else college coaches want to see, because you watch him take BP, and it's obvious, like, the talent level, but the grit factor of it, of being able to go up there with 2 strikes and off a 90-mile arm and just find a way to compete and get a hit, man. I mean, he's really, really done a great job for himself. And then Austin Rose, I love Austin Rose. I'm a huge fan. He's 6'3", 200 pounds, like, just looks the part. Like, walking off the bus, if we had a bus, he'd be the first guy we had walk off, just so we get to see him. But he's still needs some refinement, but from a tools standpoint, I think that's another slam dunk Power 5 guy that we have on our roster as well.
So those are both 2025s. Yep. Mentioned that Belza was committed to West Virginia. So was Carter Christensen, a shortstop. Tell me a little bit about, I know you said he has electric tools. What else does he bring to the table?
As the kids would say, he's a dog, dude. Like, he's one of the alphas on our roster, and he plays the game 100 miles an hour in a good way. Like, it's slow to him, but he's never taken a play off. Like, he's stolen 4 or 5 bags down here. Just a gritty, hard-nosed kid. Like, we try to get those type of guys down here, but he's like a blue-collar, hard-working kid who's a 6'5" runner, 92 from the outfield, 100 off the bat. The tools are what they are, but when you see him playing a game, they 100% show up, and he plays the game as hard as anybody we have.
So you had 2 guys that were previously committed to Power 5 schools. A year ago, you guys brought on Parker Corbin, who was an Ohio State commit. Tell me about that philosophy of giving these guys another opportunity to kind of come down here and prove themselves after they've been committed once before.
Well, I think guys like that, we're just going to bring down the best players in the state. And guys like that really show well here because they've been through it already. The moment's never too big for them. And a lot of these guys, when you see them get their first hit, you kind of like, they take a deep breath and they're like, all right, now I can actually play baseball. But those type of guys have already been here, done that. So they come in a little bit ahead of the game when it comes to the mental side of the game. But Parker Corbin's another guy. I think I'm not going to spoil it here, but he's going to commit in the next few days, and I couldn't be more excited for that kid. He's another kid that's been a great representation of the state of Ohio, and he's a phenomenal human being, and I'm really happy that he's going to get the chance to play at a Power 5 school as well.
So just real quick, Landon Dahl is going to start off on the mound. Give me a really quick scouting report on what we're going to see from him.
He's going to be 6'3", left-handed pitcher that moves as well as anybody we have. 83, 86, but he's another guy that was hurt this spring, so I'm excited for him to perform here because he's not one of these guys that's on the circuit. Like a bunch of our guys have been through this and getting recruited by a bunch of schools already. I think he's going to be a newer name to guys, and I'm really excited to see how he does because he checks all the boxes trait-wise. Like he's an athletic mover, 6'3", like he's going to be able to spin it a little bit. So I think he has a chance if he performs the way I think he's capable of performing to get himself several opportunities after his start today.
Well, that's Jordan Cairo from PBR Ohio. And the question is, what is it like to pitch in the PBR Future Games? Here I spoke to Jackson Peavy from Georgia coming out of his outing. And let's a little bit about here from the left-hander. Here with Jackson Peavy out of Peach County, just threw 2 scoreless innings for Georgia here at the PBR Future Games against New Jersey. A couple of strikeouts. Jackson, what went well for you today?
I really think whenever I didn't have my fastball going, I really had a good off-speed with my curveball, and that really helped me a lot too with attacking.
I mean, anybody who can look back there behind home plate is going to see all those scouts. How did you mentally get yourself ready for this opportunity?
Well, I really think it started whenever I was in 15U at the MPI because I really pitched good there, and that really helped me settle into not being so anxious. And now that I'm 16 years old now, it helps me a lot.
When you go into this, you work with a catcher that you don't have a lot of experience with. What's the conversation like before you guys go out there?
I just really tell them what works well for me and what I really like using. And like I talked to my catcher today and I asked him if my slider's on, then maybe we throw a little bit of slider. But today I didn't really need it, and I didn't really throw it much. I only threw fastball, curveball.
The top-ranked lefty in your class in the state of Georgia, a top 10 player overall. If I asked you to tell me what your mentality was on the mound, how would you describe it?
It's really just attacking. If you attack, that's all you need. Because I mean, ground balls. That's what helped me today. I mean, 2 strikeouts. The rest of them were ground balls right to my infield that I really trusted, and it really helped a lot.
What did you feel like you did with this opportunity today? I know you probably sat on this for a while and thought about what it was going to be like. Was it what you thought it was going to be, and now what do you do with it?
Well, I think it was way better than I expected out. I mean, I had so many scouts behind there that I was a little anxious, but I still got there and locked in, and I did my best.
Being a part of this Georgia team, I know you guys put that uniform on, and there's kind of like this it's us against everybody mentality. What was it like kind of coming together? I know you know some of these guys, but what was it like coming together with them?
Oh, these are really good ball players, and I knew that we were going to come here and we were going to win it. I know that we're going to win it.
All right, man, I love to do this. I'm going to get you a ball. I want to have you show us your pitch grips and just show us a little bit about what you do. Sound good?
Mm-hmm. This is my fastball. I kind of hold it a little farther than most people do just because it gives me more command with everything. This is my curveball. I just try and stay on top of it. Whenever I throw it, I really try and finish at the knee so I don't chicken wing it. And then I got my changeup right here. If it's going a little harder, I kind of like squeeze my lower toes on my push off side, and it'll slow it down for me. And then this is my new slider that I've been throwing. If it's there, then it'll be really sharp.
Jackson, man, thank you so much for doing that. I appreciate it. Congratulations on a great outing.
Yes, sir.
If you're not already, make sure you follow Lakepoint Sports on all our social media channels. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube. You get so much more happening here on campus. Corey McCartney, PBR Ohio's Jordan Cairo here as we continue with our pregame here before this Ohio and Pennsylvania matchup. And Jordan, your roster is 2025 heavy. A couple 2026s though, and I wanted to focus in on these guys. Chandler Taylor and Jack Ryan. Tell me how these guys wound up in the Ohio roster.
Well, first of all, we try not to take 2026s with the recruiting rule, how it just changed, because these guys have another year before now they can talk to schools. But these two are just so talented that we had no choice. In a positive way. So Chandler, his older brother had played with us. He was just the Big Ten freshman of the year out of Indiana, and they both have the same feel to hit that you just don't see very often. Like you see Chandler check off pitches that normal guys are chasing. He has a plan up there. He's incredibly talented. He's a great kid, and his heart rate, I don't think ever gets above 65. Like, he's just chill as you can be. I know I'm putting a lot of pressure on him when I say this, but I think his brother has a chance to be a first-round draft pick, and I think he eventually, I don't know what route it'll be because he still has some physical development to do, but I think he'll be one of the higher recruited guys in the state of Ohio, and I think he has a chance to be a guy that hits and plays baseball for a really long time.
When you look at the game action so far for you guys, you won 4-3 over Illinois on Friday. Taylor Bells, as you mentioned, drives in 2 runs. Nicholas Fertino supplies a double. The first day of action, a 7-1 winner over Team Midwest. How much emphasis and stock do you put in you guys getting out of here? I mean, obviously this is all about these kids getting an opportunity to showcase their talents for all these coaches that are watching, but you leave here 3-0. What does that mean?
I think 100% winning matters. Like, it is about them, and they need to showcase their abilities, but if you don't make it about winning, then they kind of get outside of themselves, if that makes sense. They try to do too much of the showcasing. They try to throw it 95 off the mound every at-bat. They're trying to hit home runs. But when you make it about winning, which we definitely are, then they play the game the right way. Because I told them before the game, it's like, you don't have to go outside of what you do. Like, you're here for a reason. Play your game. And if we do that, we're going to win. And at the end of the day, the very first priority is making sure that these guys get seen by all these college coaches. But if you sit here and say winning doesn't matter, I think everybody would be lying to you. Like, everybody wants to win. Yeah. And I forgot to say, Jack Ryan, the other 26, I forgot to talk about Jack. He had talking about winning, he comes, we're up 5-4 against Illinois. He comes in and such a huge spot for 2026 to be there. There's a ton of coaches there. He just absolutely dominated. We actually threw out 3 more hitters, so he got 6 outs in that inning, and you would have thought that he was pitching in his backyard. Like, no, just felt comfortable, looked the part. But, yeah, to answer your question, winning definitely matters, and it feels a lot better when you come out of here because we've been on the other side of it. We come out 1-2, 0-3, and that's just the morale in the dugout. It matters. So we tell them it's about them, but at the end of the day, it definitely matters whether you win or lose.
All right, so we're going to take a quick break here because we're heading into this Ohio-Pennsylvania action. But before we do, I want you guys to get a taste of the action here on the field in the Junior Future Games. We had an opportunity to mic up some of the players from the teams from Oklahoma and Arkansas. Here's Oklahoma's Titus Hawk and Peyton Kilhofer, and Arkansas's Max Malloy hitting the field here in the Junior Future Games.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Got your time, Blue? 2-0 hacking. Thank you. In. Back. Got a guy. We got a guy. Go 1. Why you got a sliding mitt in your pocket if you're not going to wear it? Oh, that's me. I caught the ball. Dad's munching on some snacks over there. Looks pretty hungry.
And that was just a taste of that mic'd up. Head over to our YouTube channel and you can see the entire episode. Just a really great showcase there of these talents. And Jordan Cairo came to showcase his talents for us. Jordan, man, appreciate the time. Excited to see how your Ohio squad does out there against Pennsylvania, man. Wishing you the best of luck.
No, man, I appreciate it. Well, we haven't beat them in 7 years, so I got a lot of respect for Ted and Greg and Dan Speed. Like, those guys always put a great team together, but let's try to get the monkey off our back and leave here 3-0. That'd be awesome.
All right, Jordan, man, appreciate it. Thank you so much, man. Best of luck.
Thank you as well.
And it's game time here at the 2023 PBR Future Games. This game of the day matchup for us, Ohio and Pennsylvania. I'm Corey McCartney, joined by PBR President Sean Duncan as we roll in for another game. And Sean, good to have you back.
I am delighted to be back. Thank you very much for having me for a third time.
Absolutely. So your matchup right now is Landon Dahl on the mound, as Jordan Cairo had broken down for us. This left-hander comes in unranked, and he doesn't think that's going to be the case after he has an opportunity here to showcase his talents against Pennsylvania. Meanwhile, Nolan Beam is out there at the plate for Pennsylvania, swinging a miss there. So a strikeout for Landon Dahl. Next up, Max Forgione and Coy Allman. Coy Allman is not a name unfamiliar to anybody with the Future Games, a past participant. So he's looming on deck for Pennsylvania right now.
Well, if you're telling me that Landon Dahl is unranked in the state of Ohio, then Ohio must be the most loaded state in the entire country, because he's an athletic, loose left-hander, pumping at 86, and he just flashed a swing and miss breaking ball here, and that is a clean arm. I think this young man is, if he was under the radar coming in,
Not anymore.
not anymore.
Maybe Jordan holds him back. That way he looks really smart by bringing in a guy that was unranked, and everyone says, man, he really minded Jim.
He might want to tell himself that, but I'm not buying that.
That was a nice pitch right there.
Came in through the front door, 70-mile-an-hour breaking ball.
Max Forgione from Dunmore, top-ranked outfielder in the state of Pennsylvania in the class, number 33 overall. So we're here with part of the Nevada-Arizona game with us yesterday. Mac Edwards from Nevada, just, man, a monster showing for him. 4 innings on the mound, ended up striking out 8. We talked about this with Brett Harrison yesterday, talked about this with Mac after the game. Found out 10 minutes before the game that he was going to have to go out there. He's not really a pitcher. He's primarily been a first baseman, but I think you talk about screaming two-way potential. He absolutely showed that during yesterday's game.
Yeah, and quite honestly, that is exactly why I think this is the best event in the country, because that kid, who knows if he's – Brett Harrison told me he didn't pitch a single inning in high school. A single inning in high school. Barely pitched it on a summer team. Comes out here, mid-80s, all strikes with a slider, slurve, mixed it up. But it was like also high spinning breaking ball, like 2,800. He made himself a lot of money. And he's going to go pretty big. You watch. Because there's a lot. When I got out of here, there was a lot of people that were circling that name.
Yeah, we saw the crowd behind the plate building as he continued on, and the word clearly got out that he was shoving. Speaking of, there's another strikeout for Mr. Landon Dahl. So 2 up, 2 down on K's here as he's rolling along in the first inning.
And that is the definition of a punch out right there with the umpire. He turned and punched some invisible person in the kidney right there.
That's right. So now you've got Coy Allman up to the plate for Pennsylvania. Coy, past Future Games participant. Yeah. He's the 2nd-ranked catcher in the state out of Donegal, 6th-ranked player overall, 40th in the nation at the position, and number 355 overall.
And he stands in there. He looks like he knows how to hit. Pennsylvania's had a rich history of bringing uber talented players, big physical hitters, pitchers, but they can't seem to win ball games. So let's see if they can win it, get over the hump on Team Ohio.
Yeah, I think Jordan said he hasn't beaten him. They haven't beaten him in 7 years. All right, but going to get through that first half of an inning, so some work to do. Now Ohio's going to get a chance to show what they can do at the plate here as we head into the bottom of the first inning in our game of the day here at Lakepoint Sports. And, Sean, I wanted to talk to you. I was having this conversation with Brett yesterday about the most valuable pitcher, most valuable hitter, how that transpires here at the PBR Future Games. But as more guys are doing both things, has there been thought to just having a guy who's just that overall player of the game, player of the year?
For the event?
I take the most valuable player as opposed to hitter.
We've had historically we've always just done an MVP.
Yeah.
But as the thing has grown, the pitcher is a little bit more subjective, just because you only have 2 or 3 innings to deal with, and it's like, okay, you punched out 8 or whatever. So it's like, so we added another award a couple of years ago.
Yep.
But like a perfect example of the one of the greatest two-way players in college history was on Team Pennsylvania in 2013, Brendan McKay.
Brendan McKay, yep.
Yep, and he was kind of under the radar, 84, 86 with a good breaking ball. And then when he got in the game and then started hitting, we're like, I think he might be a hitter, actually. And we all know what he did at Louisville. It's like, what's happened to him pro ball, though? It's like, I know he got injured. But he was amazing story here at the Future Games of under the radar, blows up, becomes top 2 or 3 pick in the draft, by the Rays. And we're trying to let him do both as well.
They were, yeah. But a guy who's already made some big noise both on the mound and at the plate yesterday for Team Midwest was Danny Wallace. Papillion La Vista South. He ends up going 3 for 3 with a double, a home run, then gets on the mound and strikes out 3 batters. I had a chance to speak to him during NPI. Rob Allison and I talked about him leading into the Futures Games as well. I mean, you talk about a guy that can just get it all done. I think Danny Wallace was absolutely showing that he has those capabilities.
Oh, yeah. And Rob Allison seems to have the MVP every single year here, seemingly. And I think that guy is on the short list of the MVP. And which is not surprising watching him from the workout day. He is uber talented young man.
So now you've got Deal here is dealing for Pennsylvania. And he's facing the rolling lineup for Ohio, by the way, has Carter Christensen hitting now with Austin Rose and Nicholas Fertino to follow.
Just flipped in a 76-mile-an-hour backup slider there. It's a good-looking athlete on the mound, 6'2", 205.
Yeah, he's the 5th-ranked right-hander in the state of Pennsylvania out of Pine Richland, 14th-ranked player overall in the class of 2025. Christensen from Archbishop Moeller out of Cincinnati.
Powerhouse.
Yep, he's the #1 shortstop in the state, #6 player overall, 68th in the nation at the position, 305 overall.
Moeller just reloads every single year. For as long as I can remember, they're always good.
Well,
out of Cincinnati.
Ken Griffey Jr. went to Moeller.
Yeah, you're on your stuff, Corey. I got to tell you, I'm super impressed with your background information on high school players.
I'm from Ohio, so I'm going to know that stuff, yes.
What part?
I'm from West Central Ohio.
Gotcha. Oh, so this is why this is the game of the day.
Well, actually,
there's some bias going on.
I will say a little how the sausage is made. We were going to go with New York and Canada because I love the idea of us getting that international market watching this game. But Ted Williams thought he had a really strong grip. Ted's going to be joining us here in a little bit from PBR Pennsylvania. Thought he had a lot to say about the Pennsylvania roster, so we shifted course here, and we've got this Ohio-Pennsylvania matchup.
You allowed Ted Williams to change your course of action?
Well, I thought I was getting an email from Beyond the Grave from Ted Williams, and I thought, well, you got to listen to that. So,
gotcha. You were taken by the name.
Yeah.
I'm just joking, Ted. If you listen to this broadcast,
he might go back and listen to it to see how he did. So next up, Austin Rose,
6'3", 200-pound catcher.
Yeah, from Newark. Oh, excuse me. This is still the at-bat with Carter Christensen is continuing. We'll get to Austin Rose soon enough.
We started talking about Ohio, and we both got off track.
That's right.
There were a lot of breaking balls. Let's see a fastball. I don't know, Boo. I think you gotta give one of those punchies right there on
Yep.
that pitch.
He's got it cocked and ready. What do we not like there?
Oh. I'm not a fan of this.
Okay.
And I heard another director file a complaint on this. They're going to allow him to stay in and hit.
So was given a walk, but refused it. Now he's hitting. Continuing with the at bat.
Yeah, but they give him a clean count. This is like showcase ball right here, right?
So you should go in with. You should give him 2 strikes, right?
Or
Make him go
just
0-2.
or just take first base.
Yeah.
I know no one's coming here to walk. I'm fine if a kid gets plunked. Stay in there. Just keep it a ball. But like there is a level of hey, I want our state to win type of thing. So try to maintain the integrity of a baseball game. In this setting,
Well, for the second time here, it's 0-1 is the count to Christensen.
but he's seen a lot of pitches from this young man on the mound. So he's got a distinct advantage.
All right, here comes the 0-2. Runner's going, coming back. Oh, no. Sends that one into right field, getting a camp underneath it for the out. And that will finally bring up Austin Rose, the catcher from Newark, 5th-ranked catcher in the state, 45th ranked player overall. Facing Keegan Deal.
Good looking frame on this hitter.
Nice breaking ball to start things off against Austin Rose.
He likes coming in the front door with that breaking ball. He's done that quite a bit already.
I like the interesting toe lineup on his setup. Got the foot kind of curved in.
Yeah, he's on the far right side of the rubber there.
Quickly has Rose in an 0-2 count. Swing and a miss.
Dialed it up a little bit, 87.5, and we did not acknowledge that Chandler Taylor swiped the base. He was took first base on that complimentary walk. And he's a 2026, so he's a young'un. Looks like a good athlete, can run. But the advent of the oven mitt for all the base runners. Are you a big fan of
those?
That,
Are
Corey?
wildly popular. My son's team, they all have them. So it's infuriating being third base coach and you're waiting for the kid to put on the oven mitt before you can give him the sign while the next batter's already ready to go.
Well, how old's your son?
They're going into 14U.
Okay. I was going to say, if you're coaching like 7U, I would ban the oven mitt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, an opposing coach told me that he banned them for 2 tournaments because he kept giving kids signs and they were too busy trying to put their gear on to actually know what they were supposed to be doing, so they decided they weren't going to roll with them for 2 tournaments.
A lot of these kids should have like utility belts when they come up to the
That's
plate.
right.
They have they got 2 batting gloves on their hands, yet they have 2 in their back pocket. They got the oven mitt. Maybe they have
Shark repellent.
Yeah.
Right. It's scoreless here through the first inning in the 2023 PBR Future Games, Pennsylvania and Ohio. We'll be back with more shortly here from Lakepoint Sports. Back here at Lakepoint Sports, the 2023 Prep Baseball Report, Future Games, Emerson, Georgia. 0-0 is your score here in the second inning. Pennsylvania and Ohio. Derek Smale is going to be up to bat for Pennsylvania to start things off, followed by Tommy Kratz and David McLean. This will be the second inning of work for Landon Dahl, the lefty from Ohio.
Derek Smale knows his way around the squat rack. Look at this.
Yes.
He's got some legs on him.
Yeah, first baseman, top-ranked first baseman in the state out of Clarion area. And he's got the flow going too, the blonde hair sticking out of the bottom of the helmet.
I'll tell you what, I'm 49 years old, so I'm the last human that should ever be commenting on hairdos. But I've seen some doozies walking around the ballpark. I think it's like a badge of honor to have kind of the funkiest hair.
Yeah, we're definitely in an era where bad haircuts are in vogue. My son decided to go and bleach blonde his mane of late, so that's been a thing that's happened in my house.
Who are we to comment? We're stiff old guys.
We had our day.
Yeah.
Somebody who is still in the midst of their day, Landon Dahl, has the count at 1-2 here. 2-2 as he takes on Smale.
He just flashed, I think, his first changeup right there. Kind of spiked it a little bit. I like this kid's stuff. I mean, this guy's got a true three-pitch mix. He's around the zone with everything. I'm a fan.
It's hard to beat a smooth left-handed delivery. Here comes the 2-2. Going to miss high there, and the AB will continue.
He's got to come with the fastball right here.
Yeah, we'll see if he challenges Smale on the 3-2 pitch, and absolutely did it. Got another punch out.
He painted the black on that one.
Nice pitch. And so now Smale will be followed by Tommy Kratz. Tommy Kratz from Methacton, 2025 third baseman, fourth-ranked player in the state at the position, 47th overall. The bright green cleats with a dark green helmet. I would assume if I were to look it up, Methacton has green's got to be in the color scheme.
I'm not even sure what that pitch was. Maybe it was like he was a slider. 83.
Puts that one into play. The shortstop stops it, was not going to be able to make a play, so we're going to have a first base runner here against Landon Dahl.
It was a good job by the shortstop to knock it down. Probably thought he had it in his mitt for a second there.
Here's David McLean. David McLean from Westchester Ruston, another catcher, 8th-ranked catcher in the state, 40th overall. See how Dahl starts him off. Kickoff move, keeping him honest. Yeah, Ryan Sudbrook, by the way, is that shortstop that made that, thought he had that play, but still was able to stop things from getting any worse than they could have. 2025 out of Avon. Comes Dahl's delivery.
Good pitch.
Right down the pipe. See how he comes back on the 1-1. Hit him on the arm, but McLean going to stay in there.
A little nicer today. We got a little bit of a breeze.
Yeah, not quite as oppressive. It's still hot, but maybe not quite as oppressive.
No. You know, a little breeze will go a long way.
That's right.
Here at Lake Point.
I think those storms that we had last night may have cooled things off just a little tiny bit. Now we're going to be in play this time. Shortstop able to make the play. Sudbrook makes it go to second, but ball's going to get away, and runners are taking off like crazy here. I think the ball got away from the second baseman on the transition.
Pitcher did his job. He rolled it up for him.
So 1-0. Pennsylvania's got a lead now on Ohio. Bit of a miscue there as Sudbrook tries to get the ball to the second baseman to start that double play. 1-0 is your score. Owen Rozzi now stepping up to the plate for Pennsylvania. Rozzi from Westchester East, 2026, the 4th-ranked player in the state among outfielders, 24th ranked player overall. So Dahl finds himself in a little trouble here. Runner on third.
Catcher try to pull that back in a little bit, maybe a little off the edge. Things are going right, that you get that pitch.
And we're going to get into the gap. Second baseman able to get to the ball, but not to make a play. So another run's going to score for Pennsylvania. They've got runners at first and second, and another has crossed the plate. So 2-0 is your lead here. Brady Hull stepping up with an opportunity to build on this edge for Pennsylvania with one down here in the top of the second inning.
And when things are not going the way you want, a jam shot turns into an infield hit like that.
Yeah, frustrating for Ohio, right? You've got 2 plays that the infielders are able to get to the ball but unable to make the play, and technically 3 when you think about that flip to second that didn't go down. This is Blake Umberger from Hershey, 2026, 4th-ranked player in the state among catchers, number 13 overall. A lot of catchers on this Pennsylvania roster, but they also did bring 25 players with them.
That was their limit.
It's a lot of kids. Mr. Derek Smale dancing between the base paths there, looking like a bulldozer that's ready to head to third base.
Get out of his way.
That's right.
He will steamroll you.
Comes the 2-1. It's not getting the call. Nice pitch, but just a little bit too far outside. Umberger will be followed by the aforementioned Brady Hall, just jumping ahead of myself a little bit there.
Wonder if Smale plays football. I bet you he's a middle linebacker.
Yeah, if he's not a fullback / middle linebacker, I'm going to be extremely upset. So get a walk and a fresh count. So twice here in the early goings that we've seen this happen. Pitch count going to climb up for Landon Dahl. It's up to 35 so far here in the second inning. This is only expected to pitch 2 innings. Swing and a miss.
He was going big fly on that one. Try to clean the bases on one swing. Flips that one in.
Yeah, that was nice. Makes it 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes to Umberger. There's Dahl's delivery. I got him reaching on there, driving up that chase rate. So 2 down in the inning.
That is one stat that we do not keep, unfortunately. Is
no chase rate?
Yeah.
Okay.
We need to.
Yeah.
That's a valuable stat.
It is. What's the next stat, though, that you think could be part of the equation for how PBR evaluates players?
Ooh. Boy, you really put me on the spot, Corey. we got
well, you
some.
led into
we
it.
got some. Yeah, true enough. we got some things cooking up. We have a whole data ops team that are always kind of cooking up different things. You know, I'm a big believer in.
Yep. So drop third.
Got it.
Going to make that happen. So, all right. I'm interested to hear your thoughts, but first we got to go through some of the top plays from Friday's action here at the 2023 Future Games. And, man, we saw some big-time individual performances. And we dial it back, first of all, with this walk-off magic from Declan Murphy. The Carl Albert 2025 hit a game-winning double, part of a 3-run seventh to take down Arkansas. A win there for Oklahoma.
That was hit really hard.
Next up, Mason Perillo. He made the long trip from Skyline, Washington. He may have this ball waiting for him when he gets home as he hammered a grand slam for Pacific Northwest against Colorado.
He almost lapped the runner in front of him, too.
He did, yeah. And finally, I invite you to watch the Danny Wallace Show, the Papillion La Vista South product out of Nebraska, turn the Future Games into a showcase of his two-way abilities. He hit a double and a home run in a 3-for-3 day at the plate. And if that wasn't enough, you're going to see him strike out 3 on the mound for Team Midwest. Danny Wallace, this is not fair.
Oh, and you see how he was running around the bases?
Yeah, Danny Wallace, just an athlete, and he absolutely showed it here in an individual showcase in the Future Games.
And I saw a couple at bats this morning too from him, and he sits back on breaking balls and just hammers them the other way as well. So that is an impressive day by Danny Wallace, and he was also a really good workout day as well. So I don't know. I'm not in the voting committee, but I would say he's in a strong running for player MVP of this tournament. And how can he beat 3-for-3 grand slam, punch 3? It's hard to top that one.
Well, an exciting day in action there on Friday here at Lakepoint Sports for the 2023 Future Games, and we'll see how things continue to unfold here on the last day of action for the Future Games players. The Junior Future Games will continue into Sunday's bracket play, and I know that's an exciting thing for these kids. As much as we talk about how these older guys would like the opportunity to go out and play a more of a tournament style, we do get to crown some champions there in the Junior Future Games side of things.
And it gets wild. I mean, they really play hard, those kids, and the ability is crazy. I think some of these kids are 7th and 8th graders doing what they're doing. That's a good pitch right there.
So Ryan Sutterbrook is now on the to the plate here for Ohio, and Culp is pitching for Pennsylvania here. Ben Culp from Wilson High School, the 11th ranked right-hander in the state, number 37 overall. So to continue that conversation from the last half of an inning, obviously, you know, the major league side of things continues to find new ways to evaluate players, find new ways to add metrics. Is there a stat at the major league level that you look at and say, I wish that's something that we could do here at PBR?
You know, we not really. I mean, the next level would be like biomechanics and ground force and all that stuff. But what I'm really interested in is like kind of the cognitive testing as well, right? Because like this game could, you know, chew you up and spit you out mentally, right? And it's like, you know, some of the cognitive testing, I think that there's a huge value in. You know, and you could also, people should be like working on that, those skills. Eye testing we already do, visual edge, you know, because having good eyesight is a really important thing, because hitting a baseball moving at 90+ miles per hour with sink and run is pretty darn hard to do, right?
That's right. Yeah, it's interesting because in football, obviously, we always hear every year during the draft process about the Wonderlic test, and they put through. There doesn't seem to be any standardized thing in baseball where you start to talk about, you know, a player's acumen or a player's you know, ability to process information as much as they have it in football.
Yeah, I think the Wonderlic's pretty antiquated. There's some new stuff out there that is hitting the market that is a little bit more advanced. So we got a walk, and the hitter remains with the runner on first base.
So this is the third time we've seen this happen so far in this game.
Culp just missing, you know, through a breaking ball that the hitter just kind of spat on It was a good chase breaking ball, but it finished low.
So Ryan Sudbrook at the plate. He's going to be followed by Cam Simmons and Preston Zumwalt. That one made to the shortstop side, unable to get to that. Flips it to second, though. Going to get the out. Nice way to stick with that play when it looks like things could have got away from him.
And that's where the situation, if they actually turn that double play, then all of a sudden one hitter has made 2 outs, and you're not turning the lineup over like you would normally. But I guess that's semantics.
Here's Cam Simmons. Cam Simmons from New Albany High School, 4th-ranked player in the state, number 23 overall.
6'1", 190-pounder.
My brother lives in New Albany.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Has he talked about Cam Simmons at all?
He is not. They talk a lot about, so Lex Wexner lives there, the guy who owned the Limited. They have the White Barn, that candle company deal. There's literally a White Barn in New Albany where he lives at the front of his property. So that's like a real thing.
I have no idea what you're talking about right there. I'm sorry.
No worries.
I was thinking about something to follow up on that.
No. So the Ohio tourism portion of this broadcast has come to a close.
Good pitch.
Yeah, that was fantastic breaking ball there. All right, here comes the 1-2 from Culp. Yeah, Simmons going to call for time.
I think he's running.
So Ryan Sudbrook looks a little dangerous over there at first base. Culp just trying to keep him honest. And of course, he's got the brick wall known as Derek Smale there to throw to. Swing and a miss, a strikeout for Culp.
That was looked like he threw that a little firmer on that breaking ball. One from the first one was more of a teardrop, 72-mile-an-hour. He just dialed that up to 75-mile-an-hour slider right there. So
this is Preston Zumwalt, third baseman from Tippecanoe. That's in Tip City. Second-ranked third baseman in the state, number 16 overall.
He's feeling his breaking ball. He just landed another one at 72.
Yeah. Someone's going to get mad at me for stepping over Tippecanoe when it's actually in the conference of the school that I grew up within. That one's going to be made to third base to throw to get Zumwalt at first. So we're going to be out of the inning. 2-0, though, is your Pennsylvania lead. We're going to head to the third inning here at the 2023 PBR Future Games at Lakepoint Sports. Once again, Sean Duncan, thank you so much, Sean, for being a part of things, man. I cannot thank you enough for stopping by 3 days for these broadcasts.
Yeah, this is so much fun, and I'm really grateful for everything that you do here. Kind of continue to elevate the amenities here at Lake Point, not only just the baseball amenities, but the media amenities. And, a lot of these young players here, their grandparents, their friends, their family could watch it, and they get the dulcet tones of Corey Montgomery to listen to.
That's right. Well, listen, you make it really easy. You guys do a fantastic job with PBR, so thank you so much, Sean. Appreciate it. All right, we'll be back with more shortly here on the 2023 Future Games at Lakepoint Sports. Back here at the 2023 Prep Baseball Report Future Games from Lakepoint Sports in Emerson, Georgia. 2-0 is your Pennsylvania lead here as we roll on in the top of the third inning. Change in pitchers for Ohio here. Up to the bat now for Pennsylvania. We've got Jack Thompson followed by Owen Hammond and Will Roth. So Braylon Schneider from Fremont Ross is on the mound for Ohio. Fremont Ross, the school that produced Charles Woodson, the first defensive player to win the Heisman Trophy, Pro Football Hall of Famer, obviously made his stardom at Michigan before moving on to the NFL. Now joined by Ted Williams from PBR Pennsylvania. Ted, man, thanks for coming on. Appreciate it.
Hey, you're very welcome, man. I'm just happy to be here. It's been great weather. It's been hot, but that's all you can ask for from being from the north.
That's right. So what have you thought about the Pennsylvania guys so far, not only today but over these first couple days of games so far played?
I've been very happy about how the bats have come alive. I think, we've gotten down early in a couple games, but the guys haven't, stopped putting quality at bats together and, haven't stopped fighting. So you have to really appreciate that. And I just think our 2 strike takes have been very, very, very professional. We're chasing out of the zone, low percentage.
Yeah, Jack Thompson on Thursday doubles. He has 2 hits on Friday. So he's obviously a bat that's continually made noise for you guys. Tell me a little bit about what he's able to do and what you've seen out of him with these first couple games.
Yeah, Jack has been an up-and-coming player. Central Bucks East just turns out dudes left and right, and you blink, and 1 year later they're the next one up. And Bem and Thompson, both being Central Bucks East guys, they're next up. And I know Thompson coming up in his upcoming year is going to have a big one.
Yeah, he's scheduled to hit third in this inning. Currently, we've got Avery Smith up to the plate from Perkemenen Schools. Excuse me. He actually goes down on strikes here as we get the first taste of what Braylon Schneider is able to do. Schneider, the 7th-ranked right-hander in the state of Ohio, again from Fremont Ross, the 17th-ranked player overall. So now you've got Christian Barnes up to bat for Pennsylvania from North Penn, 2nd-ranked outfielder in the state, number 20th player overall. You guys brought a few 2026s. I believe there's 9 of them on the roster. I know a lot of the scouting directors have talked about being cognizant of everything going on with recruiting and feeling like, the 2025s, this is their time with the coaches able to get a hold of them in the next couple days to start that process again. Talk to me about Pennsylvania's decision to have 9 2026s on the roster.
Yeah, so honestly, a lot of that has to do with just where we're at in terms of our younger players body-wise and their further development and just being ahead of just the masses, And I think some of the bodies out in our way just grow a little differently nowadays. But Barnes here, he's a great example of a guy that's twitchy, that's athletic, but he's going to get it done on the base paths by creating pressure, by playing good defense in the corner and maybe even center field at the next level. But he will really turn out, the hands and get that through.
So we see Braylon Schneider there grabbing the towel that's sitting behind the mound. I mean, the heat's obviously been an issue for everybody. But Ted, it seems like the pitchers in particular have had a lot to deal with as they try to just – you're out there trying to do your best. You're trying to show the bite that you have on the breaking stuff, and I'm assuming getting a grip has been really, really hard on these guys.
It has. We have a towel back there you can see in some rosin, but there have been some times, obviously, 3, 4, 5 pitches. Guys are losing a little bit, and that's what you get down here in the Georgia heat.
Count is full. Schneider going to try to wipe away some of the sweat. Yeah, I will tell you, even the Georgia guys, I was talking to some of them before the game, and even they said, man, it's hot. And if you're the ones that, you're used to it, and you still think it's like that, it's been something these past few days. Tries to get a check swing there, but ends up sending that one foul.
Now this is what, speaking of 26s, this is where you really look. It's, what did you do in the at-bat to get to this point? And then what are you doing 3-2 on the fringy pitches? Are you trying to foul them off? Are you taking them? Are you content with just, getting a walk? And that's what these college coaches look for. They want to see you swing the bat.
I was talking to Brett Harrison from PBR Nevada about this during the Arizona-Nevada game yesterday, and so he's going to go down on strikes, about what you look for in those 2026s and even the players below that. do you look more for foundation? You look at a guy and think what you could dream on that frame becoming, or do you look at it in terms of skills that you think are just really advanced at that age?
Yeah, so it's funny because you look at a guy that's big, and right there you say, what are his tools? And the size and the tools will get you in the door, but then you have to watch him for 5-6 games and say, can this guy actually play the game? And I think the smaller guys, I was in that boat growing up, but they are typically more skilled because they have to be, especially at this level. And what you find out are those are the guys that in a year or two really blossom as they get that late physicality, that late puberty, and they take off.
So we mentioned Jack Thompson. He's up to bat now. Thompson coming out of Malvern Prep. Central Bucks.
Central Bucks East,
I
yep.
was sipping down a little bit. Owen Hammond is out of Malvern
Yep.
Prep, but Jack Thompson from Central Bucks East, the 5th-ranked third baseman in the state, number 51 player overall.
Yeah, we were, as we were talking about earlier, I'm going to get a little bit more in depth, but, I've been very impressed with Jack because both of his singles, we had a double, and then a single yesterday. But both of his hard hits have come to the right center gap, but they've come versus 90-plus arms. So anytime you're looking as a college coach, and do I want to recruit this kid? Can he hit the fastball? I mean, those are the pitches that, guys make a living off of.
When you guys are looking at the players, and certainly the process, as we've heard from so many others, the process for the Futures game really it starts as soon as this one's over when you figure out who can you get to come back for next year. But when you guys are looking at players during the high school season, during the travel season and early summer, it has to be difficult for some of these advanced bats to really get a beat on them during the high school season because once a book's out on a guy, they don't want to pitch to him anymore. So is it hard for you can you look at a guy during the high school season and say, okay, that's someone we really want, or do you kind of have to get to that travel season when they get a little bit more challenged from the pitching?
We kind of look for it all, but I would say that basically, I was waiting for that play to play out, that when it comes to that, wait, ask the question again. I just lost it.
No worries. So we're through 2.5 here now as we get out of there. Pennsylvania continues to lead 2-0. But the idea that an advanced bat is not going to get challenged during the high school season, and how you're able to look at a player in the high school season as opposed to the travel season when you know they're going to be facing some more elite pitching.
In high school, we got a guy that just got drafted in the first round, Kevin McGonigal, out of Bonner Prender, and he does a great job of just hammering every pitch that's thrown. Guys just walked him like crazy this year. But what you know is, hey, how's he taking pitches like that? Does he have a plan? Is he swinging out of his zone? And when you see guys taking their walks and just saying, okay, I don't need to rush anything and make results happen now, that's where you kind of circle that name and go, he's going to be a little special.
So we just had Mike Trout's picture there with the Old Hickory bats on the scoreboard here on the Audi Marietta Field. And funny enough, we're talking about this because Tom Batista, longtime MLB scout, he was the cross-checker for the Braves out of California. He was ultimately the guy who signed Freddie Freeman, and weirdly enough, he's the stepdad of Christian Yelich. But he had told me he was sent to go see Mike Trout and came back and said, I really don't know anything because they won't pitch to him. Yeah. He said, I sat there and watched 3 games worth of action, and they didn't throw him a single strike. It's just sometimes has to be make it difficult, especially during that high school season, to really get a beat on what a guy's able to do because, a book is out and they just don't want to pitch to these guys in game action.
Oh, sure. No, that's 100% accurate. I would say for us, Derek Smale put on a big high school season. They did not like to pitch to him out in Western PA because he was hitting the ball to the fence more often than not.
It has to be a football player, right? Because that's Sean Duncan and I were looking at this guy going, if this isn't a linebacker / fullback, I don't know what's going on.
I know he has in the past. I know now it's just a focus on baseball. His brother's committed Xavier, and they're just a very baseball-driven family. So I know he's going to stick with that, but he has been in the football round.
So Ben Culp continues on the mound here, the right-hander from Wilson High School. He's now going to be facing Jack Ryan with Daniel Briggs and Joey Buchanan to follow.
So this kid right here is one of my favorite kids that we have on the team, just for the fact of how quick and rapid his development has gone. This is a water polo player, first and foremost, with huge lats and strong legs. And basically he hit 80 miles an hour for the first time ever this fall. And now he's holding about 83, 84, touching a 5 and 6 here. But, you just have to appreciate the hard work.
So water polo player first and foremost. I think that's the first time that it's been uttered on any of these broadcasts and potentially any other broadcast. So baseball secondary for this guy, but do you see that maybe moving up the ranks, or is this the guy that you think can maybe be that kind of a two-way athlete, a different kind of two-way athlete at the next level?
Yeah, so I know Benny very well. He's somewhat of a local kid to where I live, and he definitely knows now his capabilities in baseball and is really buying into him. So I think his goal is to pitch in college first and foremost. Water polo is cool. I think he loves it, but I think he knows that he has a lot of good stuff coming in terms of baseball. His best baseball's yet to be had.
So he's facing Jack Ryan, the third baseman from St. Xavier in Cincinnati, the first-ranked third baseman in the state in the class of 2026, fifth-ranked player overall. He's sixth in the nation among third basemen, number 104 overall. And he joined us pregame. Jordan Cairo had a lot of great things to say about him. Taking a quick break here in the action. So there are some storm clouds developing here at Lakepoint Sports, and last night we had a delay during the games. So we had lightning, had to get everybody out of the facility here, obviously keeping everybody at bay. And yep, we are under a lightning delay here, which, the summertime here in Atlanta, these things just pop up out of nowhere, and you really have no way to tell what's going on. So we'll be back with you as soon as we know a little bit more here from our broadcast here at Lakepoint Sports. And 2-0 is our lead here as Pennsylvania has the edge over Ohio.
Next. Next. Stop.
You got it?
No. Keep going.
Again.
Next. Next.
If you don't pick one.
Oh, you have time. Am I keeping you from your job? Next. I don't even know where I am anymore. Stop.
Do we finally have it?
Let's go back to the beginning.
Are you
Your
joking?
electric future customized. The fully electric Audi Q4 e-tron.
Making every second count. That is how I live. And this is how I hydrate. Body Armor Sport Water. Water for the athlete and all of us.
This is ready to go online. Any questions?
Yeah, I got one. How about the best network imaginable? Let's invent that.
That's what we do here.
Quick survey. Who wants their internet to work pretty much everywhere?
And it needs to run smooth, like super, 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 super smooth.
Hey, should you be drinking that?
It's decaf. Because we're busy women.
We don't have time for lag or buffering. Who doesn't want internet that helps AI do your homework even faster?
Come again?
Sorry, what was that?
Introducing the next generation 10G network, only from Xfinity. The future starts now.
First one I picked up, I just liked it the best. And like I said, I tried a lot of different companies, a lot of different models, and I fell in love with Old Hickory for sure.
Back here at Lakepoint Sports, we're under a lightning delay here at the 2023 PBR Future Games. 2-0 is your Pennsylvania lead over Ohio. Corey McCartney, and I'm here with PBR Pennsylvania's Ted Williams. And Ted, we talked a little bit about some of these Pennsylvania guys. I had a chance during the pregame to go through the Ohio roster with Jordan Cairo, but I wanted to allow you to kind of pencil in some of these guys that maybe we haven't talked about yet, some players that you think really the people watching from home really need to know on this Pennsylvania roster.
Yeah, so first of all, I want a big breakout, salute to Owen Rossi, who's a 26. He's listed as number 3 on your roster from Westchester East. They play in a very good Chessmont League, and they face a lot of D1 arms and talent, but Rossi got a chance to have a pretty solid amount of at-bats as a true freshman this high school season. He left the yard a couple times and had some extra base hits, but what he does so well is he just commands his shoulder and his torso and just never pulls out of the zone. Everything's through the zone forever. He has 2 hits to left field. He has 3 to right. So he has 5 total hits in the future games. So I don't know what more he can ask for there. The kid's raking, and he did everything that he needed to do to put himself on the map as a left-handed hitter.
Coy Allman is a player number 5 there. Catcher from Donegal, number 2 in the state of the position in 2025. Yep. This is a guy ranked 40th in the nation among all catchers. He's been to the future games before. What does a player like that do in terms of the second time around, kind of setting the tone for everyone else as they get here? Yeah, you know what? So what's good about Coy is his personality too, and his ability to take that leadership role and just like say it's mine. You know what I mean? And some guys do it in a weird way that kind of doesn't blend with the team chemistry, but Coy is a very, very good person, first and foremost, and understands and has feel. So he knows how to get the best out of everybody, but he's very low pulse. You'll never be nervous. He'll never be out of character, and he just has a very calming presence. And I think behind the plate, you see it the most. He's unbelievable in pitch framing. He's unbelievable in blocking. He's literally a professional behind the plate. Another guy with national ranking here on this team is Keller Bradley from Pennsbury, third-ranked right-hander in the state. He's 68th in the nation. Tell me about the arsenal there that you get from Bradley. Yeah, so we were very impressed with Keller Bradley yesterday, not only because of his raw stuff and ability and his just length, but I think the fact that he had a tough first inning in his standards. He didn't pitch bad at all in the first inning, but he had a couple, one true run got across. But for him, he's a guy that doesn't give up hits, doesn't give up runs. And that Midwest team was very talented. I think what we saw yesterday was he hides the ball, he extends, and he has guts. Well, we're hearing some rumbles here on Lakepoint Sports. It's this pop-up storm, causing us some concern here. So we're going to be back with more here. Your lead in this game of the day is 2-0 Pennsylvania over Ohio. We'll be back as soon as we have some more information here from Lakepoint Sports in Emerson, Georgia. You're watching the 2023 PBR Future Games.
The Windscreen Factory, more than just windscreen. We're a full-service sports facility contractor. We manufacture windscreen for sports and construction, do fence repair and installation, and fabricate field netting and batting cages. In addition to manufacturing the products, we also install upon request. We make safety padding for backstops, rails, and walls, as well as full-service print shop with logo, branding, and signage capabilities. Please call us for a quote today.
Making every second count. That is how I live. And this is how I hydrate. Body Armor Sport Water. Water for the athlete and all of us.
Welcome back to Lakepoint Sports, the 2023 PBR Future Games. Corey McCartney, PBR Pennsylvania's Ted Williams. We continue to have a weather delay here in this Pennsylvania-Ohio matchup, our game of the day. Stick with us. We will not be turning things off, so make sure you come back. We're going to get the completion of this game, get back with you as soon as we have some more information as this storm just sits on top of us here at Lakepoint Sports. But stick around. We'll be certain to have the completion of this game here from the 2023 PBR Future Games at Lakepoint Sports. When we last left you here in our PBR Future Games game of the day between Pennsylvania and Ohio, it was a 2-0 lead for Pennsylvania in the bottom of the third inning, a 3-2 count for Jack Ryan facing Braden Culp. And guess what? It's still the situation here as we come back from our weather delay. Corey McCartney along with PBR Pennsylvania's Ted Williams. And Ted, Culp going to continue on the mound for Pennsylvania after this long delay. You were over there with the guys. What's kind of been the vibe as they wait out this long delay from this thunderstorm?
We got a lot of guys that are loose over there. They've been doing a good job of just taking it pitch by pitch and just second by second, I think, the whole weekend. So they're in there cracking jokes. They're having fun, and Benny's chomping at the bit to get back out there.
All right, yeah, so he's going to continue. Ryan Fuller's then going to pick up for him after the mound. And you were really interested in a name of a pitcher that's going to close things out for you guys, and Isaiah Shader. Tell me about Fuller and Shader and what we're going to see from them as this continues.
So Fuller's another one of those 26s we mentioned that's coming based on sheer talent alone. He was up to 89 at our state games. He's only 6 foot, 150 pounds, dripping wet, but that boy has some electric arm speed, and he can really bury the slider. Isaiah Shader is a little bit more projectable in terms of to his close future frame that he'll be. But I think for him, it's just all about throwing strikes and just getting to the secondaries, because when he gets there, it's wipeout and it's strikeouts.
Yeah, so the runs so far from Pennsylvania have come off of some errors from Ohio and then off of a walk. Haven't really seen the bats explode to this point. If you had to pinpoint some guys, though, we know we talked about Jack Thompson earlier in the performances that he's had through the first 2 games, but if you had to look at that guy and say, this is the one that I'm waiting to make some noise, who are you pinpointing?
I would say there's 2. I'd say first is Nolan Bem, our leadoff hitting shortstop from Central Bucks East. He's had a lot of schools, especially Southern schools, on him, especially all week. In his workout day, he was one of the winners there. He's been hit by a couple pitches and just hasn't got much to face except for his first at-bat. He went down on strikes, but I expect him to come back with a plan. He's a guy who hit 462 in high school, and he's a guy that's going to come back and figure out how to find a barrel here.
All right, so we're going to get started again momentarily here. Again, Pennsylvania has a 2-0 lead on Ohio, and here we go. Back out here in action. Again, Ben Culp is still on the mound for Pennsylvania as this thing rolls on. Culp, right-handed pitcher from Wilson High School, 2026, 11th ranked right-hander in the state, number 37 overall. And you said he's ready to go. I mean, you went over there. We obviously have had a delay. I don't know how many times you watched in a major league setting when there's any kind of a long delay like this. It kind of wrecks with the pitching plan. But obviously in this situation with the opportunity that he has to show out for all these college coaches that are here, there was probably no taking Ben Culp out of this situation.
Oh, no doubt. We were going to leave him in. He's a kid that's just, slow heartbeat, lives in the moment. He's not going to be deterred by this, I think. He has a great mental capacity to handle just randomness, and that's what's good. I think he's just a kid that just, understands, hey, I'm going to go execute me in the best of my ability. I don't care what the, scenario is.
So he's got Jack Ryan in a full count here, no outs in the inning for Ohio, Daniel Briggs and Joey Buchanan to follow. So we'll get this thing started here momentarily. Again, a 2-0 lead for Pennsylvania over Ohio here in the 2023 PBR Future Games. And Ted, obviously you guys have been here for a few days. You've seen so many of the coaches that have been here, looking at specific guys from Pennsylvania. What do you anticipate wild throw there as we get things warmed up, but what do you anticipate in terms of the rush of commits? We obviously see this quite a bit after future games, but I would think this year in particular, it's just going to feel like an avalanche of guys making those announcements as soon as that August 1st date hits.
Oh, yeah, and like you said, we did bring, I think it was 9 26s total, so that'll obviously throw a little wrench into it, but I think all the 25s that we brought are more than ready, whether that's physical, tools-wise, and I think they're going to get a lot of interest and calls come August 1.
All right, picking it back up here, Jack Ryan from St. Xavier in Cincinnati, the first-ranked third baseman in the state of Ohio in 2026, sixth-ranked third baseman in the nation, 104 overall. He's in a, 2-2 count here. We're adjusting the scoreboard a little bit.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, so 2-2 is your count as we get things started again. The bottom of the third inning here, Lakepoint Sports, and Culp going to miss as he gets this AB restarted after an hour-plus thunderstorm delay here.
He's going to go right back to it, baby. Oh, we'll take that.
A little bit of a dribbler. That's going to get through. I think we're going to see, obviously, our turf fields here can more than handle the weather, but it's still going to impact the way that ball is going to carry, and we may see some weirdness, I guess is the best way to put it, for these infielders as they deal with these baseballs coming through that carpet here after this weather delay.
Yeah, being an infielder myself, I can attest to that. The first hop's going to skip a little bit.
All right, here's Daniel Briggs from Dublin Kaufman, just outside of Columbus, Ohio. The fourth-ranked shortstop in the state, 2025, 27th-ranked player overall.
What you like to see here is, you give up a base runner, but what happened? You put the ball on the ground, weak contact. Same idea here, pound the zone, let your defense work.
So here's the other variable, and I've talked to so many guys who play a lot of games here at Lakepoint Sports with the weather and the way that the base paths become an issue is you try to slide on this turf, and once it's been wet, and unless you're ready for it, you're going to slide right over top of that bag.
I've had a couple PA teams reach out and tell me about that too. Yep. They said it's a dang near just slip and slide out there.
It's real. It's most definitely real. And so is that last pitch there from Culp to make the count 0-2. See what he's got next.
This is the second time he's thrown that slider, that was a curveball. The one before was a slider. Second time ever in his life he's thrown it. 25-01.
Seriously?
25-01 spin, and
wow.
He's gained 3 whiffs so far.
I think we might see him throw it 1 or 2 more times here in this appearance. Can't get a bite there, make the count 2-2. He's facing Daniel Briggs. Culp delivers a miss.
Now this right here is the biggest pitch of the game to this point.
Yeah, Pennsylvania hasn't faced a lot of pressure yet in the early goings of this game. In the midst of it right now as Culp faces Daniel Briggs. Delivers, belts that one into left field, and that one going to be caught. The runner's going to retreat back to first base. Thought that might want to carry just a little bit more than it did. Just a long, loud out. So Culp does his job there and gets the out that he needed here to put a little bit more pressure on this Ohio lineup to try to break through.
Yeah, that was big right there. I think he luckily got a little late two-seam action on the hands. That was a great swing to the zone.
This is Joey Buchanan. Joey is primarily a left-handed pitcher from Milford at 2025. He's the 6th-ranked player in Ohio amongst the 2025s, number 29 overall. Showing out a little here with the bat, see what he's able to do. Misses in on the hands.
Yeah, the pitching coach that Benny works with was one of my ex-teammates in college, and he really knows his stuff and really cares about the kids, and Benny's benefiting big time. He's a hard worker.
So have they developed that slider together then?
Yeah, he just texted me. His name's Tad Barton. He just texted me and told me, after I told him how Benny's first inning went, he said, no way, we just literally did that for the second time the other day.
That's fantastic. We're just giving a taste of it here. Nah, not going to get that call.
That's a good no call there. No need to help. That's why the last out was huge, 3-2 there. You can afford a walk.
Swing and a miss, going to make it 3-1. So you feel like you've got a legit 4-pitch pitcher now?
I think so. He hasn't really went to the splitter much this outing because he hasn't needed to. But he does have a very, very good splitter he commands to kill spin on. So the fact that he's an arm that can get up to 2,500 but can also dip below 15, with the splitter, is very rare nowadays. And I think the way he blocks off the front side just creates some deception. Gets back in the zone here. We're going to be just fine. This is what Coach Jordan on Ohio wants here.
All right, so a fresh count with the walk, and Joey Buchanan going to continue. So we've seen this a few times already happen. Batter gets to continue up there while taking his spot. And that one's going to go right to the second base and makes the flip to short. The throw to first going to be in time. A nice double play there, turned by Pennsylvania to get out of some trouble. So the friend that Ben Colt needed was his defense behind him. We'll be back with more here from Lakepoint Sports. Pennsylvania has a 2-0 lead here on Ohio in our PBR Future Games Game of the Day.
At Academy Sports and Outdoors, you'll always find more fun with great brands at the best prices. More of this, and this. So you can get together for a little of that, and a lot more of that. And even some of that, and that's good. Have more fun with great brands at the best prices. Only at Academy Sports and Outdoors.
We roll on here at the 2023 PBR Future Games from Lakepoint Sports in Emerson, Georgia. Corey McCartney, along with PBR Pennsylvania's Ted Williams. And Ted, you had talked about Nolan Beam, and now he's got an opportunity here to lead things off for you guys. And just you mentioned he hasn't had a lot of opportunities to do damage, but maybe that happens right here as this game rolls on against Ohio.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about a mature hitter that just stays in his approach. He's not going to waver from that, and I think a guy like that, the more at-bats he gets on a weekend, the nerves start to calm. He's going to get more chances, and I'm excited to see some good things. I think on deck as well, Max Forgione, left-handed hitter, who was our #1 ranked outfielder in the state for the class. He's very talented. He's a guy who gets to 0 to 100 with little to no effort, and I'm excited to see what he can do, even with the tough matchup here on the mound.
So we got a pitching change here for Ohio. So Brody Pape coming in from Avon, left-handed arm, 2025, 11th ranked lefty in the state, number 63 overall. So one of those 2026s that Jordan Cairo from PBR Ohio was awfully excited about talking about pregame.
Mm-hmm. And this hitting right here to lead off is Owen Hammond. So this is the number 14 spot in the line.
Okay, so I'm actually going off the scoreboard readout here in our field. So we a little bit of miscommunication there. So Owen Hammond going to be followed by Will Roth, and then Nolan Beam's going to be after that.
Yep, so this is my pregame interview. Owen's a great kid, the storied Malvern Prep High School that, you know, they win state championships every year. This year was no different. And for him, it's mostly about, you know, getting an opportunity. They have 13 D1 commits. He had an injury with his finger this year. He's next up.
Who do they have drafted last year? They had a Penn State football player, Lonnie White Jr.
Yep.
Yeah, Lonnie White Jr. Yep.
That was a couple years ago. He went to the Pirates.
That's right.
And he actually he's been battling some injuries off and on, but he actually just had his first minor league home run, I want to say a month or so ago. Very good kid. But Malvern Prep, man, they just breed him different. It's unbelievable over there. But, you know, Owen's a kid that, you know, I talked to Fred Hilliard, their coach, who's one of the top high school coaches in the nation. And I said, Fred, what do you think about Owen? He said, Owen's going to hit down there. And that's what he's done.
Hammond in a 2-1 count. He bounces that one to short. The third baseman comes across the plate, makes it, going to get the out. Nice play there at third base, cutting across in front of the shortstop to make the throw and get Owen Hammond out at first base for the first out.
That's a good runner getting down the line. Very nice play with number 4 there.
All right, here comes Will Roth. Roth from Exton, 2026, the second-ranked middle infielder in the state among the 2026s, number 38 overall.
This is a guy that I can't wait to see get it going. He plays a lot of confidence. Yesterday, he had a tough day, but you know what? He had an awesome workout day, and I know a guy like him comes back today, and he comes and shows his best stuff.
So we talk about foundations and frames, and I think Will Ross, somebody that you look at and think, okay, when he's going to put some weight on, what that's going to look like and what he's going to be capable of producing in the power department.
So we got a lot of calls and just buzz about Nolan Bem already. Will Roth is Nolan Bem in a year. That's literally the same comp I have for him, the expectation. He's a guy that you give him one more year, everybody knows about him. And he's a guy, he stays inside the ball like no other, almost to a fault that it sometimes can get him out. But that was a lot like me when I played. He's low swing and miss. He's going to use the backside, and, you know, he's going to find barrels on both fastball and off speed.
Sends that one to short. Dives, can't make the play. That one's going to trickle into the outfield. So Will Roth looking back, not going to retreat to second, going to retreat back to first. So nice little piece of hitting there as that one bounces off the shortstop's glove.
There you go, sitting back on the back leg, the hands hold back, and we get it.
So here is Nolan Bem, as we were just talking about Nolan. He's got a chance here, Ted, to cash in and make some noise with his bat finally in these future games for Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I'm excited about this at bat. Nolan, especially seeing a lefty here, is going to have the ability to see the ball a little longer. And he's going to, you know, I bet he uses the right center gap.
So you talked about this. If he was up in a situation, you were going to get out your phone and record our monitor here in the studios, doing exactly that. You're ready to deliver that content here for PBR Pennsylvania.
We got to get, you know, something, just a little different look, you know, always trying to one-up the competition, the other states, and you see them doing some cool stuff, and you want to just be in the mix, you know.
All right, so Nolan Bem here, an opportunity to make some noise. Pennsylvania already up 2-0 here in the top of the fourth inning. A big bat here. We'll see if he's able to cash in and do anything with this opportunity. Bem we've talked about before. Big-time bat for Pennsylvania. Central Bucks East 2025, the 5th-ranked shortstop in the state in 2025, number 20 overall. Shoots that one foul.
What is the count here?
Yeah, scoreboard's not doing us any favors here at the moment. Here comes a delivery.
Good take.
Down at his feet. Bem going to be followed by Max Forgione, Coy Allman if this inning continues. Delivery swing and a miss.
Now this is the fun part about when you don't get pitched to, and this is the question you asked earlier. He went a little bit up out of the zone there because, you know, he wants to hit.
That's right.
I respect it.
Takes you out of your typical approach to an at-bat. That one on the outside corner gets him, so the big strikeout of Nolan Bem. Now Max Forgione going to come up with 2 down in the inning.
Sometimes the pitchers try to.
That's right.
That's a great spot. Now, this is something that Forgione's had a little bit of unfortune with, or bad fortune with, is facing a ton of lefties. I think he has 4 or 5 different lefties he's faced so far, among about 6 or 7 at bats.
Forgione from Dunmore, the top-ranked outfielder in the state in 2025, number 33 overall.
And he's a guy, too, that if I ever had something that I would change, and it might not even make a difference, but I would have him eventually a little bit more wide and low into that base. He's a guy that is very tall, and it works incredibly well for him. But I think when he gets a little bit more into those legs, oh my goodness, he's going to hit 10+ home runs at the D1 level.
Well, he gets hit by a pitch there. See if he's going to go and continue. No, he's going to take. Looks like we're going to have a runner at first.
I think we're going to, yeah, I think we got first and second. We're sending Bem out there, and then we're going to go Forgione back in the box.
think that has to be the confusing part for the batters, right? Is that you used to just sucking it up and
Yeah.
taking your base when you get hit by a pitch. But in this situation here, giving the guys the opportunity to have that ghost runner, but go up there and continue that at bat. I mean, that's what it's all about here. Nobody wants to see how well they can get a hit by pitch.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, and plus, you know, teams like us, we bring down 14, 15 guys that are hitting in the order. And, you know, guys will get 2.5, 3 at-bats, you know, here and there. But the idea is, like, you got to capitalize on your opportunities.
We'll see if with a fresh count if he's capable of doing that.
Allman had a very good at-bat versus lefties. 2 good at-bats in the first game. So if we get to him, that's a good piece.
Sorry, that one's
That's
sent
a
into
good
left
piece.
field. That one is going to be off the wall. One run's going to score. Here comes the second. Going to make it 4-0 Pennsylvania as Max Forgione comes through with a double, 2-run double. After getting hit by a pitch and putting a ghost runner on first, he comes back and does some major damage in that extended at bat.
I'll tell you what, in terms of just like the looks of things, it is hard not to be excited about Max Forgione.
So here's Coy Allman. Now 4-0 is your Pennsylvania lead. Allman, as we mentioned previously, a past Future Games participant, second-ranked catcher in the state in 2025, 6 overall, number 40 in the nation among all catchers.
And this is where Coy's taking another step. He's always been known as a defender, but he's really taken the challenge to put on weight and just improve his offensive profile. And he also was a guy, in my opinion, last year that was a little too, you know, flat and rotational path. This year he's gotten a little bit more where he's adjustable and he's able to really create it from the hips. Had a career high in home runs this spring.
He steps off there. 1-1's the count. 2 down here in the inning. 4-0 is your Pennsylvania lead. Just saw Max Forgione come through with that 2-run double to extend the Pennsylvania edge. The bat's coming alive here after this break. Shoots that one away foul.
Now this is good news for us in terms of throwing another 26 out there, Ryan Fuller. You're going to hope that, you know, he comes and sets the tone early with coming right back in the zone, pitching with the lead.
All right, it comes a 2-2 from Pepe.
Job.
Another foul.
And that's what you find out down here, and these kids do, and why it's so good to face this pitching. There are so many borderline 2-strike pitches that you have to battle on ugly swings for down here. And sometimes kids just don't want to make that adjustment.
Already 21 pitches from Pepe. That's the 22nd pitch. That one going to be fouled to the side of the third baseman.
So that's the same zone. He went fastball off the tip of his bat, and then he hooked a curveball to the pull side. So using both foul lines there, staying alive on tough, fringy pitches. We love to see it.
Still got a runner in scoring position from Pennsylvania. They've already added 2 more runs here in the 4th inning to extend that lead that they had before we went into the weather delay. Pepe misses big time there as he tries to throw the breaker. All right, 3-2 count to Coy Allman. So we get a walk and a...
Now the PA boys are doing what the Ohio boys are doing.
Yep, so now we get a walk and a fresh count. It's going to give us an additional runner. Last time this happened, just a short batter ago, Pennsylvania was able to cash in. See if they can do that here. And this continues to be Coy Allman getting another go at it after drawing a walk. Sends that foul. So he is personally driving up Pepe's pitch count. Now up to 26 pitches in the inning.
That ball just laying on the field? Almost hit the shortstop.
That's part of life here at Lakepoint Sports, is balls from other fields flying into live game action.
It's a great pitch.
Strike. 1-2's the count. 2 down in the inning. And the delivery. Another foul.
And this is something I respect so much, is just hanging in there and just knowing how effective it can be to run a guy's pitch count up. Just makes his stuff wear down a little bit more. Lose a couple inches on the curveball, lose a couple ticks on the fastball.
Here comes the 1-2.
Job.
Another foul. He's got to be getting pretty frustrated here as this second battle between the two of them rages on. You got to feel like at this point he's seen everything. All right, so here we go.
It has to go heater here,
Yep.
you think.
See if Pepe challenges Allman this time.
Yes.
And shoot that one into short, over the shortstop's head, right in front of the left fielder. Going to score another run. Make it 5-0 Pennsylvania as Coy Allman comes through after drawing a walk and putting the ghost runner on. He, just like Max Forgione before him, cashes in. Now here comes Derek Smale.
That was just an overall 2 great at-bats. Just outwilled him.
I don't think Derek Smale is up there to draw a walk.
Derek Smale hits the ball very hard, and there's a lot of intent.
Oh, big swing. He wanted it all on that swing, folks.
The good thing about Derek Smale is, though he takes big swings, it's very short to long. So it's very controlled. Like yesterday, excuse me, the first day versus Illinois, he went backside on a 90-mile-an-hour fastball, 2 strikes. I think it was like 94 off the bat, but 3-4 hole. So he can, shorten up.
Watches one go high there. So 3-1 count.
Now this is where there's no excuse to be late. You go up there and you get the bat head throw.
He holds, and he's not taking his walk. So the last 2 times we've seen this happen, Ohio presents a walk to a Pennsylvania batter. They get the ghost runner, and then they cash in with the run. So we'll see if Derek Smale is able to do that as well. 36 pitches for Pepe in this fourth inning, excuse me.
And this is honestly, this is a roadmap of, what we've coached them to try to do, and this is a roadmap of just kind of who these players are. It's not they're non-aggressive, it's that they're going to live in their approach and be, 100% committed, and if it's not there, we're going to let you get ahead 0-1, 0-2 here and there, and then we'll battle. We'll get ourselves back to an even count.
Well, this battle is continuing because Derek Smale just sent that one foul as he drew a walk and gets a fresh count here. Top of the fourth inning, 5-0 Pennsylvania. We've already scored 3 runs here in this inning.
That's right there.
All right, he's quickly got him down 0-2. Pepe, I'm sure some frustration
Here's
building.
going to be that big sweeping breaking ball. The question is, does he get it in the zone? And if he does, it's going to be tough.
Well, we've seen it miss pretty high the last few times that he's thrown it. See if he comes back to it here. 0-2's the count to Derek Smale. Pepe delivers, and same thing. He's just not had feel for that pitch at all today. Every time he tries to throw it, it's just rising up to the catcher's head.
It's just a little bit, to me, arm timing right now. He is getting tired. There's a great piece of hitting.
Yep, shoots that one down the right field line. That one going to drop, so we got 1 run scoring. Here comes the second run. And here the runner's going to stay at third. So Derek Smale comes through 3 times in a row. We've seen Pennsylvania batters take advantage of a ghost runner after getting a walk and coming through and delivering a run. So Derek Smale able to do that as well. So we're actually going to roll the inning, but not before Pennsylvania continues to build on this lead. Ted, there was a lot to like in that inning in terms of, one, talking about these guys working through at ABs, fighting their way through ABs, and then just taking advantage of opportunities as they get that second time after drawing the walk.
Yeah, I mean, I think what we said before came into actuality in terms of Derek just being, he's not just a power all-or-nothing type of hitter. He has the ability to draw back when he needs. He's smart enough. He doesn't get enough credit for that. He is a smart hitter. He comes across as a goofy kid. He's a smart hitter. He knows what he's up there to do. He sets pitchers up at times. He'll go up there and be years behind a fastball on purpose sometimes, and then he'll get another one, hit a home run.
So now the pitching turns over to Ryan Fuller. Fuller, right-hander from Avon Grove, 2026, the 5th-ranked right-hander in the state, number 16 overall. Let's get that quick scouting report here on Ryan Fuller.
Ryan Fuller, developing delivery pace-wise. It just kind of, takes its time to get to the top with the leg, and then it's just a race downhill to close the gap. When you're talking about ceilings, I'm not sure where his ends. Every time that we've seen him throw the last 3 times, he's progressively ticked up in velo. It was 87 was his top in the winter, I believe. It was 88 at our state games, and he just went down the South ones up to 89 recently. So,
talk about deception earlier, the way that he's pulling the ball down back behind his legs is going to make it awfully hard for the batters to pick that up before it comes out.
It's very old school, and when you talk about internal, external mobility, he's a guy that just screams that. And also with the frame, you could put another 25 pounds on him and wouldn't even blink.
A little bit Alex Wood-esque, I think, about guys who are really good at hiding the ball. Alex Wood's someone who's fantastic at that.
100% agree. Biggest thing for Ryan is getting ahead early so he can go to that slider, because that slider is wicked.
So he's got Ian Kane here, and then you're going to have Gavin Lawler and Drew Tajblick to follow.
Very good to see that first pitch was a challenge, and it was 87-4. He's going to have a good outing. I can tell you that off of that first pitch.
Goes 0-1 to Ian Kane.
There's
comes
a
back. That was disgusting, folks. And that was a gross.
It's a straight downer. I call it a slider. I know the shape plays a little bit like a curveball, but the slot is why I call it a slider.
So he comes back.
Oh.
Nice pitch, but that time Ian Kane was ready for it. He'll send that one into left field.
Caught.
But caught for the out, so.
Hung that one a little bit.
Gets the out that he wanted. It was a little bit louder than I think Ryan Fuller wanted, but still able to get that in, and 1 down here in the inning as he's shown some impressive stuff here in the early goings. So next up is going to be Gavin Lawler from Grove City, 2025, 13th ranked outfielder in the state of Ohio, amongst that group, number 80 overall, and they're just jumping on him now. Sends that one down the line, so he's got first in his bag. Now he's on his way to second base, in for a sliding double. And so Gavin Lawler jumps on the pitch and able to come through with a double.
That's what you call right there a good hitter. That was not a bad pitch at all.
So here is Drew Tajblick. Drew, whose name I'm sure has been butchered a time or two, from Lake High School in Genoa. 2025, 7th ranked shortstop in the state, number 39 overall in 2025. Tajblick watches ball 1.
Oh, strike 1.
Oh, they gave it to him on the corner. Okay.
It was a late call. Oh, did he just break his glove? He just broke his glove. Don't see that every day.
You don't. Might have to make his way down here to the Rawlings tent just outside of our Lakepoint Sports studio to pick himself up another Heart of the Hide after watching that one rip through his glove.
I tell you what, I saw some of those gloves. I dang near walked out with 2 of them myself. Would have hurt the old wallet, but when they look that nice.
They had a tent. They were set up outside of one of our batting cages here during the Southeast Select tournament, and just had a lot of their pro-level gloves, a lot of the ones that were designed by the pros. I mean, they got some really sweet stuff that you can put themselves together yourself on the Rawlings website too, and do the custom gloves, and it's some nice stuff.
To be a kid again.
That's right. All right, Tajblik sends that one foul. Taylor Belza, big bat lurking here for Ohio. Belza, former West Virginia commit. Jordan Kane said he anticipates there going to be a lot of Power 5 offers setting for Taylor Belza after he leaves these future games. So we'll see what he's able to do lurking in the on-deck circle. But again, now it is Drew Tajblik taking on Ryan Fuller.
So here's the fun part about this. I think he's going to go back to the fastball high.
Yes, he did. That one going to go to third base, makes the throw across the diamond for the out, but the runner's going to head into third. So advance the runner, but there are two down here as Taylor Belza comes to the plate. Top 5 player in the state. Again, he decommitted from West Virginia. Top-ranked catcher in Ohio, 4th overall among those 2025s. He's 15th in the nation at the position, number 169 overall. Always an interesting dynamic when you take a guy who's been a former major commit and put him in these feature games with a lot of guys who are trying to prove something. And Taylor Belza is showing he still has something to prove. Sends that one into the outfield, but going to be a loud out, another loud out against Ryan Fuller. So an impressive outing there, able to keep Ohio at bay. 7-0 is your Pennsylvania lead. We're going to be back with more from the 2023 Future Games here from Lakepoint Sports.
The Windscreen Factory, more than just windscreen. We're a full-service sports facility contractor. We manufacture windscreen for sports and construction, do fence repair and installation, and fabricate field netting and batting cages. In addition to manufacturing the products, we also install upon request. We make safety padding for backstops, rails, and walls, as well as full-service print shop with logo, branding, and signage capabilities. Please call us for a quote today.
On to the 5th inning here at Lakepoint Sports, the 2023 PBR Future Games. Our game of the day, Ohio and Pennsylvania. Ohio has not beat Pennsylvania in 7 years, and it's 7-0. A little symbology there, if you will, is the lead here as we are in the top of the 5th inning. Rolling on here, Lakepoint Sports. Ryan Fuller, just a really nice outing there for Pennsylvania in the last half of an inning. And we're going to turn things back over to Brody Pape, who racked up the pitch count there in his last half an inning. The Pennsylvania bats really able to work him. We'll see if that continues.
So this right here is my pick to click on the week, and he's been proving me right. Tommy Kratz from Methacton, who is a state contender all year, is a 3-hitter as a true sophomore this year. He's a kid that's just, man, he's not afraid to get the bat out. He'll even cheat it if he has to. I mean, I don't see him. He's rarely late. He's always on time. His last 2 barrels have been 97 double, 99 single.
Kratz, the third baseman, the 4th-ranked third baseman among 25s.
There it is again. What did we just say?
Yep. And he gets things started for Pennsylvania here, a leadoff single. They're seeing Pape very, very well, doing a lot of damage here against this Ohio pitcher.
When you talk about guys that are going to get calls on August 1st, Tommy Kratz will be among the top end of that list.
Here's David McLean. McLean from Westchester Ruston. Catcher, 8th-ranked catcher in the state. Number 40 overall.
QB1 right here. Quarterback on his high school football team. Always been a leader. Had a monster high school season in Westchester Ruston. Almost made it to the state championship. They were knocking on the door. He's a big reason.
That combination, catcher and quarterback, is just, I mean, it's just become so commonplace.
Oh, yeah. And you know, a guy like David, he's still coming to his own offensively. And what I find so interesting about him is he's a very good low ball hitter. Like, he's incredibly strong and almost freakishly strong for his size.
All right, 0-2 is the count. Pepe delivers. That one misses. Makes it 1-2.
And he's still searching for his first Future Games hit here, but it's not the fact that he's not had good at-bats. It's just, you know, hit the ball at people. It's, you know, guy lands a couple good breakers here and there.
All right, the Ohio bats have been getting to Pepe, so he's looking to get something to go in his direction here. 1-2 is the count to McLean, and now he finally, that's the first really good breaking ball that he's thrown so far, and he gets it for a strikeout, one that I'm sure he desperately wanted to get that first out of the inning here in the 5th.
That was a good one.
So here's Owen Rozzi. Rozzi from Westchester East, outfielder, 4th-ranked outfielder in 2026, number 24 overall in the class.
Do not want to see him right now. He is seeing the ball otherworldly right now.
So Brody Pepe just threw that same pitch. I think he did not have a feel for it before, but maybe things starting to click a little bit for him as he goes into his 2nd inning work.
And watch just how much that works for him. That's what these kids find out, man. It's, you got 2 for strikes in the zone. That's literally all you need.
Yep.
2.
So he threw it again. So let's see if he comes back fastball now. Nope, he throws a 4th time. Runner going to go and
safe.
Going to be in the safe.
Okay, Tommy.
So Tommy Kratz gets a stolen base. 1-2 is your count here to Owen Rozzi. 7-0 is your Pennsylvania lead. 5 runs in the 4th inning as they just took advantage of opportunities and some big-time moments for some bats.
That's
Swing
a great
and a
pitch
miss.
again.
That one's going to get away, make the throw to first base, off the drop 3rd. Found a feel there for his secondary stuff without question as this inning's continued.
I mean, that has a lot of shape at 72. The more that he times up that arm just out of the glove and takes the hand out, he's going to be very okay getting on top of that curveball.
Blake Umberger from Hershey, 2026 catcher.
Blake is due here. When you want to talk about special athlete, Blake Umberger has already been drafted into the USHL.
Really?
And is probably going to be an NHL hockey player someday. He's incredible. You can tell a little bit by how he plays and hits in the box that he has a little hockey to him, but man, he's very rotationally sound. He just won MVP at one of his tournaments up north this last weekend with a couple bombs to the pool side. So he had a line out at 92 against Illinois, and he's searching for a couple other ones here.
All right, we'll see what he can do against Pepe, who misses high there. Makes the count 2-1.
This is another 26. I mean, every 26 we bring, we feel incredibly good about in terms of them projecting as a future really talented player.
That one bounces.
And that's what we told him, too, coming in is, hey, you know, there's a reason we selected you, and you should have all the confidence in the world because you do something that stands out. I mean,
3-1's the count. Pepe delivers.
Yes.
Sends that one down the right field line. Right to the right fielder, though. So we're going to be out of it. Some loud out noise there, but nothing able to show for it. So we're going to head to the bottom of the 5th inning. 7-0 is your lead for Pennsylvania as this one rolls on. And Ryan Fuller looked pretty good this last half of an inning. We always talk about how a guy's able to go out and kind of get through those jitters of the future games and those first batters that they face. What do you think is going to be different about Ryan Fuller this next half an inning?
I think he's going to have the ability to get a little bit more on top of his breaking ball. I think he threw a couple really good ones, but they just caught a little bit too much thigh area. I think, when he got that swing and miss, he got it a couple more inches down and he got more leverage on it. So I think you'll see him get a little bit more on top of that. I think he'll establish the fastball, and I think he'll go for a PR here once he gets ahead of somebody.
Yeah, we talk about what guys who have been here can tell other guys about the atmosphere of the future games, and Coy Allman, a catcher, you think about the ability to talk to a pitcher and be like, look, there's going to be all these guys back there, but you got to stay within your game. And I would assume it's a luxury to have a guy like that here that can talk to these pitchers and tell them what to expect.
Oh, yeah, and what I'll tell you is not only Coy Allman, yes, him being here sets a standard, and everybody can go to him and be like, hey, what's the expectation? What do we need to do to stand out? Do I need to try this hard? Do I need to just be myself? Stuff like that. I think, though, very unspokenly, David McClain has done an awesome job. He's a standout, kid, and like I said, he's a quarterback. He's a leader. He's done an awesome job receiving some of these guys, and really just working hard for his pitchers to steal strikes. He gives you a lot of confidence back there.
We're going to get things started for Ohio with Chandler Taylor, number 7. From Baden in Cincinnati, the first-ranked outfielder in the state among 2026s. He's 30th in the nation. He'll be followed by Carter Christensen and Austin Rose. Makes for an interesting dynamic with these rolling lineups, too, for the future games, where you want everybody to get their opportunities. You're not necessarily building this thing out game to game as you normally would to say, okay, you're our leadoff guy. We need you to get the most ABs. I mean, it's just a different situation.
Yeah, I would say, honestly, what's cool about, our whole team is there honestly aren't any egos. Everybody's really cool with each other, and everybody's really unselfish out here, and they just wanted to come out and win a game. And I think that's what's more exciting about today so far for me is it's been consistent offensively, but I think today we're getting the pitching aspect, all the way through so far. And I think that's given us a lot of fun out there. I think we're really enjoying ourselves.
All right, 3-0's the count. Fuller going to walk in, but we'll see if our trend continues here. Chandler Taylor going to take that fresh count and the runner at first base. So if we've learned anything in the last inning and a half, it's that something is going to happen here for Chandler Taylor after drawing the walk and putting the ghost runner on first. Unless that only happens for Pennsylvania.
I'm just hoping it isn't one of the things that happened for us. But I'll tell you what. This kid is a player at the plate. I know a little bit about him. Jordan told me, leading into the game, this is a guy to watch. I don't want to get behind this batter.
1-1 count.
And the thing with Ohio is they always bring good bodies, good athletes, and everybody in their lineup seemingly can run it out of the yard in a flash. So never put it past them. Now the good news for Ryan here, that last at bat was a little funky. We know that. But I think he's a lot more recentered on the plate now.
Comes the 2-1.
Maybe I was wrong.
And the runner's going to advance. Ohio now with the runner in scoring position as they look to break through, trailing 7-0 here in the bottom of the 5th inning.
So now is a great time to take a mile or two off it and just throw this thing over the plate and see what he can do.
I would anticipate anything he throws
is going to get hit hard.
Chandler Taylor's swinging at it. A 3-1 count, considering, didn't draw it. Okay, so they can give him the strike on that.
There you go, David McClain behind the plate. There's your catcher stealing one.
All right, 3-1. Taylor's not looking to walk for the second time in this at bat.
Yes.
All right, gets the punch out. Chandler Taylor
that was there.
Stretching out, watching that one, and not happy as he walks back to the dugout. But getting out, and it goes back to Carter Christensen. Archbishop Moeller.
Right here, this is what I like. I like we're taking a little bit of a mound visit here. He's telling him right here, Greg Williams is my dad. We think pretty similar, but he's telling him right now, nothing matters before or until this point. He's probably pepping him up with that was the biggest pitch you could have ever made right there, and now just go relax in the zone and get out of here unscathed, and you had an awesome 2 innings, Buck. That's what's most impressive to me is it's not about I don't want them to make mistakes. I actually tell them to run through a wall and make mistakes and go look to make mistakes, because let's play aggressive and then let's dial it back from there. So when you lose a little bit for a batter and can come right back in and show me some moxie, I love that.
Goes 1-0 to Christensen. Christensen from Archbishop Moeller, 2025 shortstop, top-ranked shortstop in the state, 6th overall. He's 68th in the nation in a very tough position.
Now, this kid is a definite standout. Watching him in pregame, just the way he warms up and goes about his mentality, just playing catch for Ohio here. He's going to have a very long career in this game.
Fuller's got him 2-0.
Yep.
All right, gets the strike there. So back in this count a little bit.
The reason I'm so confident in the strike calls is McLean is beating about every pitch to every spot.
Fuller to the 2-1, sends that foul.
Now you bury the slider. Go get you one, Rod.
Just got himself 1 strikeout after issuing a walk. See if he can polish off another Ohio batter here for that 2nd out of the inning. Here comes the 2-2. Bounces it.
Great idea there. But what we've seen, though, and I don't think you disagree, there have been a lot of in the dirt breaking ball sliders, and I think that's what we said we were expecting, was he's not going to leave another good one for you. No more cookies. Here comes another one.
And the 3-2.
Nope.
That one's popped up. Second baseman goes a long way to grab that one. The runner's going to stay at second. There's a lot of ground cover by second base to come through with that one between the first baseman and right fielder.
Let's go get your last one, Ryan.
Here's Austin Rose from Newark, catcher, 5th-ranked catcher in 2025, number 45 overall. Two down in the inning. Runner on second.
Yes.
That one to the third baseman. Makes the throw. Get out of the inning. Ryan Fuller able to work around that walk. Continue this Pennsylvania lead. 7-0. We're headed on to the 6th inning here. The 2023 Future Games. Our game of the day, Ohio and Pennsylvania. We'll be back with more from Emerson, Georgia.
Next. Next. Stop.
You got it?
No. Keep going.
Again.
Next. Next.
If you don't pick one.
Oh, you have time. Am I keeping you from your job? Next. I don't even know where I am anymore. Stop.
Do we finally have it?
Let's go back to the beginning.
Are you
Your
joking?
electric future customized. The fully electric Audi Q4 e-tron.
Making every second count. That is how I live. And this is how I hydrate. Body Armor Sport Water. Water for the athlete in all of us.
This is ready to go online. Any questions?
Yeah, I got one. How about the best network imaginable? Let's invent that.
That's what we do here.
Quick survey. Who wants their internet to work pretty much everywhere?
And it needs to run smooth, like super smooth.
Hey, should you be drinking that?
It's decaf.
Because we're busy women.
We don't have time for lag or buffering. Who doesn't want internet that helps AI do your homework even faster?
Come again?
Sorry, what was that?
Introducing the next generation 10G network, only from Xfinity. The future starts now.
Back in action here at the 2023 PBR Future Games. The top of the 6th inning, 7-0 is your Pennsylvania lead. New pitcher for Ohio here, and Grant Keffelber up to bat for Pennsylvania. Brady Hull, followed by Avery Smith and Christian Barnes. Brady Hull from Eden Christian Academy, 2026 outfielder.
This is what you call a Western PA body. This boy can hit the ball very far when he's timed up. Oh, like that. He just hit it foul.
Grant Keffelber from Lebanon, right-hander, 2025. He's the 18th ranked righty in Ohio. Number 71 overall. Here comes the 2-2.
Yep.
Got him on the corner, so Keffelberger starts off with a strikeout. Now here comes Avery Smith. Smith from Perkiomen? Perkiomen, nice. Perkiomen School, 2025.
Yep. And they were very good this year. They had one of the best years in school history. Avery was a big reason. Caught every game behind the plate for him. Hit upper 300s, I think 3 or 4 home runs. He has a 99.4 mile an hour seat off the right center field wall, exit velo, and 100 to right field in his last 2 games.
Keffelber living on that outside edge to find himself up 0-2 in this at bat against Avery Smith. Gets a swing and the miss, the drop third, the throw to first in time. So Grant Keffelber quickly finds himself with 2 outs here in the top of the 6th inning.
I'm just going to go ahead and say that this kid will be getting a lot of calls on the mound on August 1st.
He's got some nice stuff. He's clearly handling the moment pretty well.
That's a live slot with a good separation down the mound.
Misses inside to Christian Barnes from North Penn. Second-ranked outfielder in the 2026s.
Our Team PA juniors rolling in here. Got to give them a shout out. They won their bracket, and they had 2 out of 3 games. They had 10 or more hits. They absolutely have been exceeding my expectations.
Yeah, Keffelber is feeling it. He's up 1-2 in this count against Barnes.
Yeah. I think a few Team PA bats will be remembering this arm for a while.
Keffelber steps off. Again, he's up 2-2 in this count. He's looked awfully strong so far.
Oh, jeez.
Living on that outside corner, gets another strikeout. Grant Keffelber comes through an awfully impressive inning for him. For Ohio, gets the K of Christian Barnes there after getting Avery Smith on the drop third. So we're going to turn things over to Isaiah Shader, who's going to be out on the mound now.
Isaiah Shader from Elizabethtown.
Tell me what we're going to see from Isaiah.
So we're going to see a lot of length. Similar to Fuller, he hides it a little on the back hip. But what you're going to see is a really advanced breaking ball. And he's going to go to it often. But he uses his fastballs to put away, and he likes to elevate.
So he's middle infielder primarily. He's 7th ranked middle infielder in the state, number 21 overall.
So he actually, I don't know how it got flipped. He's actually a right-handed pitcher first. In the last 2 weeks, he actually texted me about it. I was supposed to change it, so that's on me. But he is a right-handed pitcher first. He's a quality middle infielder, but the level he'll be pitching at, he's going to be just a pitcher, and I expect that to be a pretty high level.
You know you have to like what you've seen from the Pennsylvania guys thus far. I mean, they've been taking advantage of things at the plate. Some of the big bats that we've talked about have come through in those moments and have themselves a pretty nice lead here as we head to the latter parts of this game.
You really just have to, feel good for Isaiah out there. Yeah, this is a kid that showed up yesterday. The expectation was for every pitcher to show up on the game you pitch. Get familiar with the team, get warmed up, do your routine, and then get in the game and then go. Isaiah said, hey, man, do you mind if I come a day early, hang out with the team, get to know some people, maybe even chart for you? So just speaks to his, ability to be a teammate and just not be a me guy. I mean, he's down here enjoying himself and trying to make some lifelong friends, too.
So he's going to be facing Nicholas Frontino, Ryan Sudbrook, and Cam Simmons for Ohio. Ohio been out hit 6-3 so far. 7-0 is your lead for Pennsylvania on the scoreboard here in the bottom of the 6th inning.
The good news for the PA boys and for all the college coaches is we will get another look at Nolan Bem coming up around next inning.
All right, Ryan Sudbrook, I believe, is actually up to bat right now. Yeah, as we've made some changes on the scoreboard there.
So there's 89 at the rip.
Sudbrook from Avon, shortstop, third-ranked outfielder, third-ranked shortstop in the state of Ohio in 2025, and comes through with a nice pitch there out of Shader.
If I had an arm that I was going to say would come out and just handle his business, this would be it.
Sudbrook sends that one sky high. Right fielder able to camp underneath that for the first out.
There's your 90.2.
All right, so we need a gong, as Sean Duncan said. We need a 90 gong. We were waiting on that. We thought maybe we'd get that from the production side of it for here, but we'll just have to gong ourselves.
But this right here, he's going to leave with a ton of interest. This is everything. He's always pitched like this. He throws strikes, moves it around, and it's easy life. It's not max effort. That one got a little up out of the hand. But when you just sit back and you're like, hey, I could go to the bathroom, cook some food, and come back and there's no runs on the board. This is Isaiah Shader. you just go take a shower real quick and get out of this heat.
So we saw the gas and we just saw the breaking ball there.
I could basically just go back to the condo right now, and I know what's going to happen.
Sends that foul.
Now, here's what's fun about Isaiah. A lot of pitchers get into the habit of going right back to the low breaker. He might climb even higher and go fastball here. Not for sure, but no. You see the breaker. He's going low.
Oh, I like the timing and the kick there.
Mm-hmm. He gets a little bit of funk in the kick, too. Gets the foot up a little bit. He'll pause sometimes. But you're talking about a kid that, he threw a good amount of innings and he's still climbing in velo. So what does that tell you about him? There's the high breaker, or high fastball, I'm sorry.
2-2 is the count here. Cam Simmons. Preston Zumwalt in the on-deck circle for Ohio.
Yep.
Swing and a miss. Had him chasing big time on that breaking ball. So gets a strikeout. So 2 down in the inning. Here comes Preston Zumwalt. Preston from Tippecanoe, Tip City. Second-ranked third baseman, number 16 overall. That was pretty gross. Definitely got him guessing up there right now. Timing's throwing him off. He's got a fantastic breaking ball he's showing along with that electric fastball. Misses high there, 89-2.
Coach Jordan's not going to have many nice things to say to me after the game.
You put a guy like this in late. That's foul.
No, I think what goes unnoticed sometimes when you're watching a broadcast and not actually on the field, Isaiah has a little bit of that edge to him. So whether it's quiet and controlled or not, he pitches with an intensity that few match. There's a lot of internal fire going there. Sure.
Another one on the corner, and he gets a fantastic, another strikeout there. 7-0 is your lead for Pennsylvania. We're rolling on to the 7th inning here at the 2023 PBR Future Games. We'll be back with more from Lakepoint Sports. It's been all Pennsylvania here in our game of the day from the 2023 PBR Future Games. Corey McCartney joined by PBR Pennsylvania's Ted Williams. And you were just showing me some text messages there. We won't disclose the verbiage used in these text messages, but some excitement around what we just saw from Isaiah Shader in that half an inning there on the mound for Pennsylvania.
Yeah, let's just say we were very excited. Isaiah came in with a lofty ceiling, and he's done nothing more but just elevate that.
Grant Kefferber came in for the last inning to pitch for Ohio. He's back out there again from Lebanon. He looked pretty impressive himself. A couple of strikeouts, right-handed pitcher, 18th ranked righty in the state in 2025. He's going to continue for
Jack
Ohio
Thompson
here with Jack Thompson up to bat. Jack Thompson going to be followed by Owen Hammond and Will Roth.
This right here is the King versus Velo. 2 singles versus 90 plus. Hits versus 90 plus so far. One was a double. And the fun thing about Jack is he is so into his approach. Right there is a curveball. And he thought the world was ending. He was so committed to a fastball. I love that. He's going to get the same kind of, result he wants when he gets it.
That miss makes it 2-2. Ohio trying to break through here. They were down 2-0 as we went into our rain delay, and that's just got extended with a 5-run 4th inning by Pennsylvania. It really took advantage of some opportunities created there as the batters who drew some walks were quickly able to cash in and produce some runs off those next extended opportunities that they had. Comes Kefferber.
Good take. Now here you have to cheat a fastball. This kid blows it. We haven't had a single guy on time at the front. You got to cheat one and get on the front foot a little bit. Oh, and he goes slider, and guess what? Tip the cap.
Yep, swing and a miss. Going to get that strikeout for Grant Kefferber. Been an impressive outing for him as he's come in these last couple for Ohio. So here's Owen Hammond.
I'll tell you what, if I was a D1 recruiter, this kid on the mound would be circled. It's not just the pitch, it's the ability to not be scared to throw the pitch in the worst scenarios.
Well, that one has him in an 0-1 situation. That makes it 0-2.
When you're throwing your 90-mile-an-hour fastball as your secondary pitch, usually that works.
Well, I think you feast on what you believe are the expectations of these batters, right? In these situations, you think, and he gets a strikeout, you think everyone's thinking fastball, that they're going to challenge you, that they want to go out there, and you pitch backwards in this situation. You got these guys in the palm of your hand.
Yeah, this is very impressive, especially his ability to continue just wrinkling different shapes of it. That last one had more backdoor.
This is Will Roth. Miss at 88.5 on the outside.
Now, fun part is Will just had a single on a breaking ball last at bat. So let's see if that plays into his hand.
Thought that one was going to come right in on him, turns away. Grant Kefferber making a name for himself here in his last inning plus for Ohio. One of the big bright spots for this Ohio team. They trail 7-0 here in the top of the 7th inning. Will Roth from Exton.
Ooh.
Swing and a miss.
That is a late break. This is why it's so good, though, for these 26s to get involved. They're not seeing off speeds like this. and this, truthfully, is what rookies in the major leagues find out very fast.
Yeah.
Is like, I have a funny name drop here, but one of my teammates was Chaz McCormick, and he's now starting center fielder for the Astros. But they ran a little thing on him on MLB Network, and why is he having a great month? And he got AL Player of the Week recently. Well, he's laying off the expanded slider away from him in the lefty batter's box. And it's amazing how when you don't swing at that one, they throw you the fastball again, and, oh, he's leading the league in fastball average. So it's crazy, man. But that's what approach really does in this game. Is these guys all have the tools and the skill sets. It's who can execute.
That's what guys always say. The biggest jump from AA to AAA is all of a sudden the guys can control their secondary stuff.
Mm-hmm. And it's not just that. It's the fact that they can change sequences whenever they want. So when you do get beat on them the second time through the lineup, all of a sudden they flip the switch on you again.
A dribbler back to Kefferberg, makes the throw to first in time, so he gets out of that half of an inning. 7-0 is your Pennsylvania lead. We're going to see Isaiah Shader back out there, try to lock this thing down for a Pennsylvania win as they lead 7-0 here as we head to the bottom of the 7th inning. And seemingly everything's going right for Pennsylvania in this game, and certainly you got to be pretty happy about that.
Man, you know, I'm very proud about how they're playing, especially after the first couple of days. We faced some unbelievable players. Illinois has a kid that, you know, I believe is going to leave here and have his choice of schools. Nebraska had a kid that was the MVP yesterday.
Danny Wallace, yeah.
That probably will not even go to college. He also opened up at 92 on the mound against us. We've swung the bats awesome. I've been telling them, you know, the whole time is just I've been so proud of you guys of not hanging your heads, being down in some runs and finding ways. So I'd say that first and foremost. And I challenged the pitchers today. I said, you know, I want you guys to take some of the, you know, failures we've had game 1 and 2, and I want you to put that on your back and say, I'm going to pitch from ahead. And I think we've done that for the most part. And I really challenged our defense. I said, you know, why don't we come out here and, you know, why don't you just want every ball, and let's just really move the feet today. And I think the feet have been the foundation.
I'm always interested in how you guys look at a player who comes in unranked.
Yeah.
And what they leave as, because we can look at these guys who have these rankings and say, oh, that guy's going to get a call the first day and he's going to have offers, but how that unranked player suddenly gets on the radar that nobody was talking about before.
Yeah, I think we talked about earlier too, kind of transfers over. You look at the bodies, like an Avery Smith behind the plate, he had an unbelievable workout day. And so all of a sudden I had 10 to 15 schools that I was like, ooh, all of a sudden you think of Avery in a new light. You know, we think so highly of Avery, but after you have 10 or 15 of the caliber schools that talk to me about him after his workout day, I was like, okay, that's very good for Avery. So, you know, he's done nothing else since then to, you know, other than just continue stacking that. And he's had great in-game at-bats, and he's thrown the ball well behind the plate. So it's crazy what these kids do. And what I always say is these kids are ranked what they are right now. There's no doubt they'll all be rising even higher. It's a matter of how high after the event. We always use this as a nice, you know, kind of measuring stick, you know. If you did well out here, like, you should be a very highly ranked kid in the state.
Well, there are a few, I mean, honestly, there are a few opportunities for them to put themselves up against elite talent to this caliber over such a short period of time.
Well, we try telling kids, and I think what's going to get the message across moving forward here is, you know, this is the premier event. I mean, you have your other entities that are, you know, not Prep Baseball Report that try to mirror it, they try to emulate it, but in terms of the people we have on foot here, the operations department, how much we truly do care about these kids first and foremost, I think that just will shine through, you know, always.
Another walk and a fresh count here. Jack Ryan going to continue this at bat. I talked with Sean Duncan about this yesterday. The excitement about September in the first ever PBR All-American game. Where are you at on that, man? That's got to be a pretty big deal.
So we just got a call about a couple invites, and we're very excited. So we will be represented there. You know, I think that's just going to be something that blows up, because what we've noticed in Prep Baseball Report is everything that we take, you know, by the horns and try to make ours, we do better than the rest. And I truly believe that. And it just speaks to how special the people are that we have in this company.
So the ghost runner there for Jack Ryan after that walk steals second. So he's going to continue this at bat. 0-1 is the count currently. Yeah, I think it's going to be an exciting opportunity. That's going to be at American Family Field, previously known as Miller Park there in Milwaukee. So I think it'd be an interesting opportunity. I asked Sean Duncan, does he get to decide whether or not the roof is open? So he said they've had discussions. They'll decide right around game time.
Well, the next question is, do they have somebody operating the slide for when somebody hits a home run and the mascot comes racing?
Well, I think Sean could do that, right?
Yeah, he's limber enough.
That's right. I mean, you guys are all going to have your players that you're going to have to worry about. And what's he going to do?
Yeah.
Sean can go up and down the slide, or they come up with a PBR mascot. And sometime in the next month plus, somebody needs to come up with a concept for a PBR mascot that's going to be the one going down the slide.
That kid got an unbelievable jump.
Jack Ryan shoots that one in the left field, in the shortstop. Excuse me, going to make the play.
That one, number one's the player. I said that from warm-ups, but man, he vaulted that perfectly at second.
So we're one down here in the top of the seventh. 7-0 is your lead for Pennsylvania. Daniel Briggs now up to bat for Ohio. Briggs from Dublin Kaufman High School in Dublin.
Base hit.
Right side of Columbus. He shoots that one back at the middle. Guess what? Ohio's on the board, 7-1. As Daniel Briggs comes through with an RBI single.
You know what, though? You got to respect that. That was 90 miles an hour. He said, I'm going to challenge you. And you know what? Briggs was on time for it. That's good baseball.
Now you've got Joey Buchanan. To bat, Joey from Milford, 2025. 6th-ranked left-handed pitcher in the state, number 29 overall. Ohio's got this down to 7-1 now, 1 out in the inning.
I'll tell you what, though, a nice sneak peek, a nice tip would be go follow PBR Ohio on their social media because they do an unbelievable job, an absolute unbelievable job. Like, it is as professional as it can get.
That ball got away, so we're going to have a runner at second in the form of Joey Ryan.
I'm sure we'll get some, who was the last pitcher? What was his name for them?
Excuse me.
Yeah, he was unbelievable. They're going to
Grant Kefferber?
Yeah, they're going to have some awesome clips of him on their social media.
Again, this is Joey Buchanan up to bat. Shader misses there.
What's good is he's missing glove side, so the spin is there and so is the release point, but he's breaking it a little too much out of the zone.
Comes the 1-0.
Yep.
There he is. So Daniel Briggs stands at second base after the steal. Ooh, another strike in the outside corner.
That was a little generous.
1-2 the count here. Isaiah Shader going against Joey Buchanan. Here comes the 1-2.
There you go, a little funky again with that leg pause.
Like you see a lot more guys do that when they don't have a runner on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That guy at second, I'm sure, just took note to that. He might be off here.
Comes the 2-2, there he goes.
Yep.
So Daniel Briggs now at third base. That's pretty perceptive.
Was he looking for a swing, or what was Shader thinking there? He was like looking around.
Full count. Joey Buchanan against Isaiah Shader. 1 down in the inning. Ohio has played it a run, though.
Yep.
There he got the strikeout. He thought he was walking, but gets the strikeout as the bat goes flying away.
That took
his gloves.
That took some guts.
All right, here's Ian Kane. Ian Kane, third baseman from Avon. Third-ranked third baseman in the state amongst the 2025s.
Mm-hmm.
Sends that foul.
The thing with Shader, though, is when you look at his advanced metrics on TrackMan, it's the release height paired with the IVB, which is up to about 21 or 22, and the release height's about, lower fives, mid fives. So he's getting a very deceptive kind of rise and carry on that fastball. which does play around 89, 90. Also allows his 2-tier slurve to kind of really work.
Shoots that one into right field. Going to camp underneath it to make the out. So we're through that half of an inning.
And that should be all she wrote.
Well, I know there was some talk from Jordan Kane about playing an additional inning there. See if Ohio and Pennsylvania line it up, and they're going to. So that's going to be our final here. 7-1 is your Pennsylvania win over Ohio. Make it another year of winning for Pennsylvania against Ohio in this matchups. A really strong performance here for Pennsylvania. We saw it with the bats. We saw it with the pitchers. And Ted Williams, you have to be really happy with the way that these guys performed. They had a weird weather delay, and then they just come out of the break, and man, the bats just took advantage of the opportunities that were given to them.
Yeah, I was very happy. I think it was just an all-around team effort. I thought we ran the bases well. We were looking to be aggressive and get, first to third a couple times. And also, I just thought our pitchers battled. They weren't afraid to mix it up. Full count curveballs. They commanded the zone. It's just hats off to everybody involved. This is the same level of talent we've had all 3 days. I think today we just played our game a little better. And that's kind of funny because that's how baseball works.
You guys out hit them 6-4. Some of the highlights here is we saw Forgione double. He gets an RBI. Then we saw Allman single. He drives in an RBI, and then Smale doubles with 2 RBIs. Those all coming after we saw the ghost runner reach, and then the guys able to take advantage. And I mean, nothing against the Ohio pitching, but clearly the more they saw that pitching, the more they were able to pinpoint what they wanted, and they took advantage.
I think the biggest thing is what we took advantage of was we were very good, like I said, all weekend of staying in our approach. And when we realized that, the breaking ball might not be there early in counts, we really hammered the fastball and really sold out. And I think that's what these guys need to take with them moving forward is opposing pitchers won't have their A stuff sometimes, and you have to capitalize on it.
So you're going to go from here, and you're going to head on over to this Pennsylvania team. What's going to be your message to the guys after you kind of got a different vantage point watching them do their thing here?
I'm just gonna tell them, number one, they represent the state very well. They played hard from the get-go. There was never a lull. There was never a down energy inning. I think just the way they represented the Keystone State was very, very well done, and they were very respectful throughout the whole thing. Guys were looking to play catch with the left fielder. Guys were looking to, bring baseballs out and can I chart. It was really, really impressive, and I think that'll speak volumes to how these kids keep progressing as they do get calls and get interest at the next level.
And I know you're excited to get on your phone after we leave here and look at those posts that you guys have on the PBR Pennsylvania accounts and see what those interactions are, see how much people are watching these guys that really found their way to show out here in this game.
Yeah, we've been really excited and just proud of how our social media has continued to grow, and our boss Nancy Vita has done a great job of kind of setting the base of expectations and how to push forward from there. So I think when you have good baseball mixed with people that care, I think it just makes for a great product. So I was very happy with how today went, and especially being on the broadcast and how well this is done. We'll be able to go pull and rip, 8 different clips later from just the broadcast and throw those out on social media. So that's a nice little layup for us.
Well, Ted, listen, I appreciate you joining us. Ted Williams from PBR Pennsylvania. We're going to be back with more here from Lakepoint Sports soon. We'll be joined by the Dick's Sporting Goods Player of the Game. We'll be back shortly here from Emerson, Georgia.
Next. Next. Stop.
You got it?
No. Keep going.
Again.
Next. Next.
If you don't pick one,
Oh, you have time. Am I keeping you from your job? Next. I don't even know where I am anymore. Stop.
Do we finally have it?
Let's go back to the beginning.
Are you
Your
joking?
electric future customized. The fully electric Audi Q4 e-tron.
Making every second count. That is how I live. And this is how I hydrate. Body Armor Sport Water. Water for the athlete and all of us.
This is ready to go online. Any questions?
Yeah, I got one. How about the best network imaginable? Let's invent that.
That's what we do here.
Quick survey. Who wants their internet to work pretty much everywhere?
And it needs to run smooth, like super smooth.
Hey, should you be drinking that?
It's decaf.
Because we're busy women.
We don't have time for lag or buffering. Who doesn't want internet that helps AI do your homework even faster?
Come again?
Sorry, what was that?
Introducing the next generation 10G network, only from Xfinity. The future starts now.
Back here from Lakepoint Sports, the 2023 PBR Future Games. I'm Corey McCartney. We just had our game of the day. 7-1 was the Pennsylvania win over Ohio, and it was 2-0 as we went into a rain delay here a little over an hour as the thunderstorm set on top of us here in Emerson, Georgia, and things really broke open in that fourth inning for Pennsylvania, and they really took advantage of opportunities. Forgione gets hit by a pitch, then comes back with a double to get a run scored, and then Allman walks. He comes back with a run-scoring single, and then Smale walks, and then he comes through with a 2-run double. So that was really the story of this game, was Pennsylvania finding a way to take advantage of some opportunities they had. Of course, here at the Future Games, a walk, a hit by pitch. They allow a guy to go out there, get that ghost runner, and continue the at-bat, and we saw Pennsylvania absolutely take advantage of those. 7-1 was the win over Ohio. We're going to be back shortly here at Lakepoint Sports, and we will be joined by our Dick's Sporting Goods Player of the Game. We'll be back shortly here from Emerson, Georgia.
First one I picked up, I just liked it the best. And like I said, I tried a lot of different companies, a lot of different models, and I fell in love with Old Hickory for sure.
Back here at Lakepoint Sports for the 2023 PBR Future Games. I'm Corey McCartney, waiting as we have our Dick's Sporting Goods Player of the Game from Pennsylvania's 7-1 win over Ohio. They'll be here shortly. But first, I wanted to share this interview with Nolan Eberwine from Nevada. This was a guy who had past Future Games experience, looked really good yesterday in our game of the day as they took on Arizona. I share with you my interview that I have with Nolan coming at you from Bishop Gorman. Here's this interview here now from Lakepoint Sports. Here at the PBR Future Games with Nolan Eberwein, Bishop Gorman in Nevada, the state's top-ranked outfitter in the class of 2025. Nolan, man, appreciate the time.
Thank you for having me.
So I know you made a lot of noise this sophomore season. What did you feel like was that thing that kind of pushed you over the top and really made it a breakout year?
You know, it was the teammates that we had. We had a good group this year. We worked hard in the off season to prepare us for the season, and then when it was go time, I was just ready to go.
What are you kind of focused on right now as you kind of look to this next season and think like, okay, if I get a little bit better there, we're talking about an even better year?
Yeah, so the thing I'm working on right now is living in the weight room. I've just been putting little tweaks on my swing to make myself a little bit better, and in the weight room I've been seeing a little bit of progression, which has been nice.
You come from a program, Bishop Gorman, and you're talking 9 state championships, 2 national championships, 10 guys who have gone on to the pros. I would assume that there's some times where the competition at practice is maybe better than what you guys are seeing in games. What does that environment do for a player in terms of just ratcheting it up and getting you prepared every time you go out in the field?
Yeah, it's helpful. It helps you to prepare because when you're out there, you know that you're out with other top-ranked guys, players that are good at the game, that throw harder. So when we have inter squads and stuff like that, we're getting ready for season, and it's helpful to going into other games knowing that we've already played some of the best competition there is in the state.
So we're just getting started here at Future Games. It's just workout day, but I'm always interested to know for a guy what it's like when you put that shirt on and you guys come together with kids that maybe you knew but didn't play with before. But what's that like when you guys come together like this?
It's fun.
And you get interactions from other states too.
Yeah, no, it's fun. We get to meet some new guys. It's a newer group this year, a little bit younger guys that I've never met. So when I do meet them, it's nice to know who's at the top in the state, and then we play together, and it's normally fun. We start out here trying to win as much as we're trying to showcase what we have.
Yeah, how do you approach an environment like this? I mean, obviously, the end result here is I've got hundreds of scouts that are here, and I want to be the best version of myself I can be. But you're also trying to make all those other guys look good. And how do you approach this situation?
Yeah, so I approach it by just playing my game. I try to be the best teammate that I possibly can, and with being the best teammate, trying to play your own game, you stay who you are, and you don't try to be too big for yourself, and you just play a good game.
I'm interested to know who kind of influences guys along their way. Are there players that you've looked up to, guys at the big league level, guys that you've played with? Who's made a big impact on you?
For me, it's my dad mostly. He played AAA, and he's helpful with me. He helps me with everything I do. Me and him are in the cages every day working to get my swing better. We talk baseball all the time, and he's a big influence for me.
Awesome. Well, I want to see that swing in action. So you've got your bat. I'm going to step out and let you take us through your mechanics of the play. Sound good?
Perfect. So first thing I do, I step in the box. I try to clear my head, and my approach going into the swing is hit the ball hard somewhere. I try to stay up the middle and just get in the barrel on the ball. And when I get in the box, my feet are shoulder width apart. I'm pretty straight up, and what I'm thinking about is not bending over and keeping my posture. So I get here, I'm just kind of rocking back and forth, and then I take a short stride, get my hands going, and then I'm ready to explode into the ball. And what I'm thinking about is keep my hands tight, short to the ball, long through the ball. That's what I think about a lot, and it's my swing.
Nolan, man, thank you so much for doing that. I appreciate the time. If you're not already, make sure you follow Lakepoint Sports on all our social media channels. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube. You'll get so much more happening here on campus. Now joined by Max Forgione, your Dick's Sporting Goods Player of the Game from Pennsylvania's 7-1 win over Ohio here at the 2023 PBR Future Games. Max, congratulations.
Thank you.
So talk to me about that fourth inning. You guys really did a fantastic job of taking advantage of opportunities. You get the hit by pitch, then come immediately back and deliver the run-scoring double. And then we see Coy Ullman do the same thing. We see Derek Smale do the same thing. How did you guys approach those ABs when you were able to take advantage of opportunities that were presented?
I think we were just trying to be more aggressive and attack pitches. And the umpire was giving us strikes that are usually not strikes. And so we were just trying to take advantage of the pitches that the lefty was giving us and hit the fastball when he gave it.
How much does it help, though, when you've drawn a walk, you've got that ghost runner on, now you've seen a little bit more of that pitcher, and you've got a second reset at bat there to take him on?
It helps a lot because you've already seen a couple of pitches. You kind of know, you see the arm angle a little bit, and especially lefty on lefty is a little bit harder. So I was just looking for a fastball to drive, and especially with two guys on, I was just trying to put something in the gaps.
So we have a little over an hour weather delay there. You guys are up 2-0. How did you guys stay in the rhythm and of the game and not kind of go through a lull and come back out and kind of just be out of sorts out of that long of a break?
I just tried to keep my head in the game, sit in the dugout while it was raining. Just tried to, not let my mind stray from where we are and what we're supposed to be here to do.
So you've been here for a few days now. We've had the workout. You guys have played in 3 different games. That's a wrap on the 2023 PBR Future Games for you. How are you going to look back on this event, and what do you feel like you did with this opportunity?
I'll look back at it as a great experience because I think I learned a lot more about my own swing and how I play just by watching all the other great players that were here. And I think I learned a lot more about how to advance my swing and become a better hitter off higher velo.
So that's Max Forgione, the Dick's Sporting Goods Player of the Game for Pennsylvania in their 7-1 win over Ohio. Max, again, congratulations. We'll be back with more here from Lakepoint Sports, the 2023 PBR Future Games.
Making every second count. That is how I live. And this is how I hydrate. Body Armor Sport Water. Water for the athlete and all of us.
So that's a wrap here from Lakepoint Sports, a 7-1 win for Pennsylvania in our final game of the day here from the 2023 PBR Future Games. I want to thank Austin Irons, the producer, for all the hard work in the background on this. And thank all of you for watching here on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Appreciate all of your time here watching us here across these future games. Been some exciting play, and just wait, it's all coming up next. You'll see so many guys making their commitments out of that. It's one of the biggest pieces of this event. This was just the beginning for so many baseball dreams. So until we meet again, I'm Corey McCartney, and we'll see you on the diamond.
Right out the box, you get a good jump when you're running along the base paths. The catcher flips over his face mask, eager to place tags. Flash the leather making a great stab. You can follow the footsteps or take it upon yourself to make a path. But what's it all for? Love of the game or acknowledgement? Every play you make, the scouts gaze in astonishment. All this could lead to a Division I scholarship. It all starts here. The premier place for the uncommitted to showcase their skill set. Pull hitter or an opposite field threat, no matter how difficult the drills get, it's still real heart, real scars, real sweat. The piercing sound of the ping on the metal bat. Down in the count, but you battle back. You either wait for your pitch or swing for the fences. In this game, the possibilities are endless. You stuck to the routine. To prove your talent is indeed supreme. This is the start of fulfilling a lifelong dream. The boots are on the ground, and it's time to be seen. This is the Prep Baseball Report. Future Games.